Palermo, i.e. the same team for Manchester United that started against City. There is the whistle from Craig Pawson. It is Manchester United in their mainly black change kit who get us underway, immediately playing the ball all the way back to goalkeeper Lamans, who strikes it downfield, and it's headed out of play for a Manchester United throw. Yes, black shirts, black shorts with the yellow trim and the yellow socks from Manchester United, and Arsenal here at the Emirates, where they've not lost since last May. Red shirts with the white sleeves, white shorts and red socks, as Gabriel gets up and heads the ball away on the edge of the penalty area. The first ball fired towards the edge of the Arsenal box, comfortably dealt with, and it's out for a throw into Manchester United on the far side. So in the first half, Manchester United are attacking as we look here from right to left, so towards the North Bank stand. It's a bit of a dank afternoon. As I say, there is a clammy coldness to it as Martinez heads the ball out towards the far side, where it bounces out of play for an Arsenal throw. Good noise inside the ground. The Manchester United supporters down in their corner, and those Arsenal fans then, their ultras, still relatively new in the black behind the goal to our right, clapping their hands and singing as loudly as they can to counter the noise coming out of the Manchester United section. BBC World Service listeners are with us here on 5 Live as Arsenal attack with Trossard on the left-hand side. Trossard down in the full-back position, just holds it up there and then takes it further away from the penalty area and plays it back towards the halfway line, as Gabriel will turn and play it back to his trusty partner Saliba. Arsenal with the best defensive record, actually by a distance, in the Premier League this season, just the 14 goals conceded. And here in the league, won 9, drawn 2, lost none. Zubimendi, back it goes to Saliba, who will play it back towards the edge of the penalty area, and Arsenal will start again. 0-0 draws in their last 2 league matches, Matt, so there is a little bit of pressure on there.
Yeah, but it felt like a good result last weekend just because of results around them were really in Arsenal's favour. Nice
flick through to Jesus, who might have been in an offside position. He was, as the flag goes up belatedly after the challenge had already come in on him, but it's a free kick to Manchester United.
It was a nice opportunity to get a good hard challenge in there for Martinez. The whistle had gone, but he tried to smash Gabriel Jesus there, made a good challenge. Jesus bumped straight up in the air like nothing had happened, but they're the kind of moments as a centre-back that you kind of relish, an opportunity to really tackle and go straight through the centre-forward fairly, and he's not going to pass that up, Martinez. He's going to want to utilise that as much as he can.
Back to Tynecastle, Kenny Crawford.
76 minutes gone, still Hearts 1, Celtic 2, but Celtic are down to 10 men. Austin Trusty showing a red card after consultation with VAR. He originally got a yellow, but he's deemed to be last man for the foul on Landry Kabore, and he's been sent off. Hearts 1, Celtic 2.
And Rangers still leading Dundee by 1-0, but that's quite a development at Tynecastle. 3 o'clock kickoffs, those 2 matches. 4:30 start here on 5 Live as Odegaard plays the ball out towards the left-hand side, comes back central to Trossard, then back to Zubimendi. Zubimendi looks to his left, Trossard is there again. Trossard's ball foot is deflected back to Gabriel, and now it's out to the left-hand side once more. Manchester United pinned into their own defensive third as Arsenal continue to probe. Here's Declan Rice into the action for the first time, tall and upright, that black hair swept back, and then Trossard infield. Odegaard has found a position, passing it through the inside left position, but put too much on that, and it rolls through for Lamans to come out along his dead ball line and collect.
Are we thinking Odegaard is back to his best now, John, after a bit of a bumpy season last season in terms of injury and what have you? I think he's looking very, very good. And the way he just pinged that ball out wide, I mean, it was a real confident, drilled pass out wide to Trossard through a little space in the middle of the pitch. He's now got that belief level up, Martin Odegaard. I can see why he's really stamping his authority in a position where he's right under pressure, isn't it? Let's face it, I mean, Eze's been superb, but Martin Odegaard is getting back to his best.
Yep, Eze on the bench again. There's no Kai Havertz, if you didn't hear that earlier. Mikel Arteta suggested there'd been a little bit of a setback in his comeback, but not involved at all today. No Calafiori yet either, but Arsenal with a relatively short injury list now that Hincapié is back and playing at left back. I think once he was fit, well, one of the two of them, it was probably always going to be, wasn't it, that whoever it was would play at left back and Timber would be back at right back, as Manchester United go all the way back to their goalkeeper, all in pink. Lamans, long clearance from him over the halfway line. Gabriel gets up, wins that, flicked forward by Trossard, and then Harry Maguire is there for Manchester United, comes down for Bruno Fernandes, but it bounces off him, and Arsenal have got it back. Manchester United not seeing a great deal of the ball, are they, in the opening minutes of this match?
I think it's really interesting, the difference from playing Manchester City to Arsenal from a United perspective. I think is a big difference. I mean, Arsenal were just happy to make the game dirty and ugly. They're not bothered. They'll kick it long, they'll kick it high, they'll clear the lines. It's not all fancy football. It's very difficult to play against when it's on top of you, and Arsenal at the moment really just controlling the game and playing the game in the United half.
They are, and here's Saka for the first time for Arsenal on the right-hand side. Flips the ball into the penalty area for Timber, but it's just shepherded behind. Just slightly overhit by Saka, and actually well defended by Manchester United. It was Casemiro, wasn't it, back in there, just to make sure that that pass ended up rolling over the white line.
Yeah, nice idea, wasn't it? Timber's got the licence to run inside of Saka, so when he's on the outside, he can go 1v1 and get those crosses in with his right foot and get around Shaw, but that run from Timber, if it's not spotted early enough, can be really difficult to play against. But Casemiro just dropped in early.
That is the voice of Matthew Upson, Premier League winner with Arsenal, watching the Arsenal goalkeeper Raya just out of his penalty area, sweeping it downfield on his right foot. Saka then passing it through, but Manchester United have got that with Martinez, who will touch it back to his goalkeeper Gabriel Jesus, motoring round there, but the clearance from the Manchester United goalkeeper was cut out by Hincapié, and now it is Arsenal again. Trossard, lovely play, infield, Rice on the edge of the area, hits the shot, actually hits the back of Martinez's calves inside the penalty area, rebounds away. Arsenal full of intent here. Back it goes again towards the left-hand side, and the home team, Mikel Arteta's side, as you can hear, urged on by their home supporters, cries of Arsenal, Arsenal, echoing round the three tiers of this stadium in the January gloom as Arsenal start again from the halfway line. Yes, Matt, Michael Carrick, one of your old England teammates, wasn't he, in the World Cup squad together?
Yes, he was indeed, John. Just looking at him there, standing hands behind his back, all in a very dark outfit, overcoat on, in the technical area, just probably thinking, how are we going to get hold of the ball here at the moment? Because Arsenal, what are we, nearly 8 minutes in, really dominant start from the league leaders.
But they were able to put in that performance and that win, that dominant win really against Manchester City, when City had the majority of the ball. That was Old Trafford. This is the Emirates though, as Rice curls one out to Saka, who's able to just keep the bouncing ball in, then makes his way back up towards the corner of the penalty area, and his cross is blocked away by Kobbie Mainoo, out of play for a throw to Arsenal. Saka gets it back quickly from the ball boy, takes the throw, he gets it back then. Saka up against Dogu, still going, and then plays it across. Might have gone down there, Saka. In fact, he's won the corner off Luke Shaw.
I'm surprised he didn't, John, to be honest. I mean, Dogu kicks through him and literally bounces off him. And Bukayo Saka, pound for pound, is probably the strongest player in the Premier League for me. When he's got the ball at his feet, it's incredibly hard to bounce off it, and Dogu mistimes the tackle, kicks through Saka, and it was just outside the box. Had that been in the box, John, I'm sure he would have accepted the invitation to go down.
He certainly would, and I mean, that was in the full-back position, as you say, but I think his instinct told him that he was in there, hence the reason he kept his feet.
I agree.
However, it is the first corner, it's the first Arsenal corner, and the match between these two sides, right at the start of the season, was won by an Arsenal corner. Saka to take this into the edge of the 6-yard box, it's headed down, and then Trossard snatched at it as it came to him just inside the box on his right foot, slightly off balance as well, and he hit the shot, which ballooned really over the top of the crossbar and into the lower tier of the clock stand.
They're not the greatest of clearing headers, no height. It's Casemiro that wins it, kind of gets in the way and heads it straight down to Trossard. But interesting to see Harry Maguire in that setup. He was very open with his shoulders, slap bang in the middle of the 6-yard box, maybe a couple of yards towards the back post, but he certainly been given the freedom. He's not marking anyone. It's just you go and get your head on the ball when it comes in the box. You be the dominant force inside that 6-yard box for Manchester United.
So it is Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0 on BBC 5 Live and the World Service. And if you're on the move, you can listen to the live radio via the BBC Sounds app. As the ball is won back by Arsenal on the halfway line, Jesus takes it forward. Saka then infield. Jesus is still there. 2 goals against Inter in midweek. Earned him his first start in the Premier League this season. Now it's out to Trossard again on the far side. Trossard up against Dalot. Goes past and does get the cross in, but it's deflected off the outstretched leg of Dalot for a corner to Arsenal, this time from the left-hand side. Might be worth pointing out the latest tally. Their goal in midweek from a corner was Arsenal's 25th from set pieces this season. They've scored 14 in the Premier League, and it should also be worth pointing out that Manchester United at the same time have scored 13 goals in the Premier League from set pieces, so every chance of a set piece goal. This is the first one though, the first corner for Arsenal from Rice on the left. Raises his left arm in front of the Manchester United fans behind him. Instead actually plays it out to Saka on the edge of the box, chests it down and shoots, but was quickly closed down. Couldn't get the ball down quickly enough. Well, that was a bit of something different, wasn't it, from Arsenal, from a corner, not swinging it into the danger zone. Odegaard, his ball forward, that's deflected away, and Manchester United with Kobbie Mainoo could be off on the counter-attack, played forward for the run of Mbeumo, but Trossard was able to glide across and collect possession.
Well, this is unbelievable at the moment. It really is. Manchester United cannot get hold of the ball. It is non-stop Arsenal pressure.
And then Trossard puts a stop to all that by diving in on the challenge in the centre circle on Trossard, conceding a free kick and probably making Craig Pawson think, is that worth an early yellow card? Well, I think not.
No, I think he's considered it. It's not the best of tackles. He can never win the ball. I mean, the only thing is, John, there's no real force in it. They're in a stationary position. He does go through the back of him, but for me, it's the right decision, just a foul. But I think Casemiro at that, it's almost making a point, giving that foul away, getting United to reset. Somebody needs to do something in order just to get this United team going in this game. They've been a little bit off the pace. They're half a yard away from the man when they receive the ball. They're not really applying pressure. They just cannot get hold of the ball. Arsenal having everything at the moment.
Yep, they are. And here's one over the top for Saka to chase, but Luke Shaw goes with his England teammate, and it bounces all the way through to Lammen. So Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. Arsenal, who've lost precisely 2 of 34 matches this season. At Anfield 1-0, and at Villa Park 2-1 in December. And since then, it is a 12-match run without defeat for Arsenal in all competitions. At the same time, Manchester United are actually on a 5-match unbeaten run in the Premier League, with amidst all of the various managerial comings and goings, Amorim, Fletcher, Carrick. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. Dorgu being challenged by Timber, might have been a free kick. Referee Pawson allows it to go, and United go back into their own half. So back to Kenny Crawford at Hearts.
We're all level again. Hearts 2, Celtic 2, and it's Claudio Braga. 13 goals this season. He's turned it in, the Portuguese. Deep free kick by Harry Milne. It was put back into the 6-yard box, and there was Braga to thump it into the middle of the net. Hearts 2, Celtic 2, 10-man Celtic with 3 minutes of normal time to go.
3 minutes to play. If you're in Scotland, you can listen to that on BBC Scotland, on the BBC Sounds app. Could be a dramatic finale. Quite a match that. And Rangers still leading Dundee by 1-0. As 0-0 here at the Emirates. Here's Odegaard near the centre circle. Flips it through to Rice. Rice approaching the penalty area. Rice then out to the right-hand side where it's angled back to Rice, whose shot is blocked. And William Saliba up inside the penalty area with the cut back to Rice, but by that time he was closed down. Big opening, biggest of the match so far.
Oh, it's fantastic, and it's Odegaard who sparked it all, to be honest. The way Arsenal won the ball back, typical high pressure, turning the ball over, and then he spots a lovely pass infield. Doesn't look like it's going to get there, but just flicks it inside and then slips it to Rice on the run. For me here, I mean, Saliba's gone on the overlap in the right-back position, cuts it back to Rice, but Martinez hadn't dropped in. He'd stayed in with Rice, which actually, as we spoke about before the game, That's that kind of experience and intelligence, not to just drop level with the ball as a centre-back, but to actually identify the danger. And I think it's a great positioning from Martinez to stay with Rice, knowing he's the threat. Yes, Saliba could have fizzed it across the 6-yard box line, but it was a great decision from Martinez just to snub that out.
There's anger from the Arsenal supporters because Manchester United are taking as long as they ever can to take this free kick, which they do, but Arsenal have got the ball back, just trying to break up the game, Manchester United, but it hasn't worked because Arsenal come again, still 0-0, and then a very firm challenge comes in over there on the far side on Hincapié, but it took the ball and it's out of play. Amad Diallo with the challenge out of play for an Arsenal throw that they take quickly. Back with the ball at their feet, Zubamendi. Now here on the right-hand side with Timber. Timber flicks it forward with the ball of his right foot to Saka. Manchester United having to work incredibly hard here without the ball as Arsenal dominate. Saliba. It's quite the surprise to see the number 2 popping up in that position.
I was waiting to see the one in front of it. I thought it was Timber initially. I thought it must be Timber. Yeah,
and it wasn't. It was Saliba.
Yeah, it was bizarre, wasn't it? I mean, in open play, it just shows you the mentality and maybe the control that Arsenal have had in this opening 15 minutes or so. Because for your centre back to be on the overlap there when the ball's been turned over midway into the Manchester United half. For him to go on the overlap there, John, that speaks volumes of where he's at in his head.
Yes, and also messing with the minds of the traditionalists, because it was actually the number 2.
Yeah,
it was in that position. That's what number 2s are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Dorgu running the ball forward. Arsenal win it back. Combination of Odegaard and Saka together. Saka, who's not scored in his last 20 appearances for Arsenal, just has his heels flicked by Dorgu. Down goes Saka. Free kick to Arsenal on the right wing.
Yeah, I know there's no major chances that Manchester United concede in here, but there's a feeling that they're really on the ropes at the moment and they just cannot get a foothold in this game. As soon as Arsenal turn it over, the intensity that they've got in their play, Arsenal, is top. And we've now got Odegaard just hanging over the ball on the right-hand side. It does suit that in-swinging delivery, but Declan Rice is hovering as well with his right foot.
I mean, Matt, the way that the match is at the moment, if it carries on like this, I mean, surely it would be an inevitability that a goal would come.
Yeah.
Or certainly a big chance is created, and then we'll see whether Arsenal take it or not. And a reminder, Arsenal have won all 24 matches this season in which they have scored the opening goal. So here's another chance, this from a free kick from the set piece. The Arsenal players run across in unison behind the wall. Killed in by Rice. Hey, oh, and a good save by Lamens. Header was bang on target from Zubamendi, edge of the 6-yard box. It was the midfielder who got up and was able to head it goalwards. And really, from 4 yards away from him, that was a very good save from Lamens, pushing it up and over the top of the crossbar.
Yes, it's a top reaction. I mean, it's right kind of in front of him. What he does well, he kind of half goes for the ball, Lamens, and then backpedals towards his line. It's Rice with the outswinger, which is a nice ball to head, and Zubamendi gets the touch and could have easily been 1-0, but a great reaction from Lamens to palm it over the crossbar.
Corner number 3 for Arsenal, still 0-0. It's Saka, it's from the right, into the near post this time. Flick on, that was blocked, then it bounces down, fortunately for Manchester United, for Bruno Fernandes to clear it away to the halfway line where Declan Rice can't keep it in, so it's a throw into Manchester United, and a little smattering of applause from Michael Carrick. He's not had much to applaud yet.
No.
That'll do, though.
His posture hasn't changed much either.
Did that surprise you?
No.
Knowing him as you do?
Well, he's very calm, John. He's not one to get overly animated. I mean, he's taking it all in, but he's not an animated kind of manager. He's not an Unai Emery.
He's not an Emery. He's not an Arteta.
Not an Arteta, no.
He's not a Guardiola.
No, he's making up for him, Arteta. Look, right in the corner, always pushing the boundaries on the technical area, isn't he? The fourth official just going over, having a little
Thomas
word.
Bramall.
Just calm it down. Cue. Just calm it down, Mikel, please.
I think Thomas Bramall can say, right, I can leave Michael Carrick today.
Yeah, it's just his head is constantly looking to the left-hand technical area, which is Mikel Arteta's. He hasn't even glanced at Michael Carrick yet.
It's 0-0, and Trossard on the edge of his penalty area. This match must be just about the first time we've looked left in the match as it's played back to Raya.
The neck's getting a bit stiff.
Yeah, clears it away downfield. Raya, who's kept 2 very comfortable clean sheets in his last couple of matches. And now Odegaard to Saka. Arsenal on the attack again. Shaw against Saka, goes tight. Saka still with the ball at his feet, that yellow ball, running it back towards the corner of the box, then goes to his right, and then the cross is blocked by Luke Shaw. Another corner to Arsenal, number 4 coming up.
Yeah, good from Shaw. Stuck with Saka, didn't give him that half a yard to kind of make his mind up as if to go outside or inside. Just held him up nice and evenly, which he's going to have to do, because I think Saka has got the beating of anyone on his day with that shifted direction, but Shaw had a good position there.
Do you remember the goal at Old Trafford at the start of the season where Bayinda was very weak against Saliba?
Yes.
And Calafiori ended up scoring it. That was in the early part of the match. Well, different goalkeeper now. Lamons on the line, but they are crowding him as Saka plays it in, into the 6-yard box. It went over the head of Casemiro, and I think actually Gabriel behind, who was falling to the ground at the time, did get contact on it but sent it wide, and it's a goal kick and relief for Manchester United that they've survived corner number 4.
I mean, it's a cheeky little bump from Zubamendi on Casemiro. Casemiro's favourite to clear that at the near post, but Arsenal are masters, John, at just getting the right amount of contact that they don't give a foul away, but they disrupt the opposition. I don't know if they practice it, but every player just has the right amount, right on the edge of a foul, but not quite. And that was there from Zubamendi on Casemiro. Stopped him heading the ball away cleanly, but didn't give a foul away.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if it was a little bit like the George Graham days, and actually they practiced little else
maybe
during the course of the week.
I mean, their set plays have been that good this year. They must put a fair amount of time into them.
Gabriel actually missed his header there. When I see the replay, he actually missed his header. It hit him on the shoulder, the left shoulder, and then Martinez sort of stepped into him with his knee, and there seemed to be contact on him, but hasn't shaken him at all.
Accidental though.
Yeah.
I don't think he was expecting Casemiro to miss it. See, it was Casemiro's favourite just to head that out of the near post, but that nudge from Zubamendi really did put him off, and the ball was then on Gabriel. He couldn't react quick enough.
Did you see the Bournemouth winning goal last night?
Yeah. How was that gone?
Extraordinary, wasn't it? I was listening to Ali commentate on it, and there's Manchester United, a rare attack. Here's Casemiro just outside the penalty area, but Odegaard closes him down, comes back centrally. Here is Martinez, who's going to have a go, shoots, but it's blocked on the edge of the penalty area by Zubamendi. Comes back to Dogu on the left hand side. Dogu's ball into the box, half cleared away by Saliba, and then Odegaard has it nipped away from him by Bruno Fernandes. That looked as though it might have been a foul by Saliba. That's not given us a free kick. Bounces away to Gabriel Jesus, and Jesus now, who's got no support at all, actually takes it out to the far side where Amad Diallo's won it back for Manchester United.
That looked a clear foul from Saliba there. Stepped in, made the tackle. I mean, whether or not the referee waved play on, but for me, you're just on the edge of the D on the 18-yard box. You want a free kick. You know, that's the moment Manchester United didn't capitalise on that situation. Should have been called back for a free kick from where I'm sitting.
Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. Michael Carrick continues to stand with his hands clasped behind his back. Just his 5th match as the manager of Manchester United after his 3 initial games as the interim, as the ball is flicked forward by Bruno Fernandes but bounces all the way through to goalkeeper Raya. I quite like the lineup of managers that he's taken on as the Manchester United boss so far. So first time round, the 3 matches, it was Emery's Villarreal, Tuchel's Chelsea and Arteta's Arsenal, as Casemiro wins a free kick for a foul by Timber. So his first 3 matches were against Emery, Tuchel and Arteta, and this time round Guardiola and Arteta again.
He likes to bed in easily, doesn't he? I mean, in fairness, they've got more points against top half teams this season than bottom, haven't they?
Yeah,
it's quite bizarre for Manchester United. It's the games that you would expect them to win or get more positive results in that they've really struggled in.
0-0 from Martinez. It goes back to Lamons, who clears long to Mbeumo, whose name I've barely mentioned, Mbeumo, because they've barely been out of their own half. Arsenal with Trossard. Back to him over there on the far side. Martinelli on the bench again, Madueke on the bench. You were making the point, even without Havertz today, it's still an extremely strong lineup on the substitutes bench. which is perfectly capable of winning any match should they be needed. Ball is played back towards the edge of the Arsenal box. Back to Ibrox, Martin Dowden.
1 minute of the 90 left. It's Rangers 2, Dundee 0. A counter, it was substitute Danilo. He found a corner. Rangers wrap up the points.
With Hearts 2, Celtic 2, presumably also in added time. We'll be there as soon as the whistle goes, or there's further action. 0-0 here at the Emirates on this cold afternoon. Supporters shivering in their seats. 25 minutes on the clock. The big chance so far, Matt, the header from Zubamendi that was saved by Lamens, but lots and lots of Arsenal pressure.
Lots and lots of Arsenal pressure, but not enough chances created. And credit to the Manchester United back four. I don't think they've panicked. I don't think they've been lured into coming out of their hole or position or making rash decisions. They've just sat in and soaked it up, and they are getting popped, John, no doubt about it. Arsenal look slicker. They look like they've got a better structure, as you'd expect. But United hanging in there, and it's just got that feel of them going up the other end and just nicking a little something.
Yep, and that's what they're trying to do now. And Burmo, but it bounces off him, and as he tried to challenge for the ball, he dived into the challenge. Manchester United have got it back on their edge of the area, and Trossard, it's actually okay, but he felt that.
He smashed him, yeah.
And I'm not surprised.
Off of his touch, he had a bit of a loose touch, but then went to tackle on the second touch and won the ball, but went straight through Trossard.
Here come Manchester United then. Casemiro in the centre circle. Going to go to Tynecastle when we get a chance, but Bruno Fernandes now out to Dorgu on this left-hand side. Dorgu, who scored the clinching goal, the second goal against Manchester City in the derby last weekend. And the young Dane gets it back on the halfway line and actually goes all the way back to his goalkeeper behind him. So come in again, Kenny Crawford.
The blockbuster, John, and we got one. Full-time Hearts 2, Celtic 2. Hearts twice coming back from behind to ensure they take a point, meaning they stay 6 clear of Celtic and will be 4 clear of Rangers. Nugent and Yang twice put Celtic in front, but Finlay and Braga pegged them back. Trusty sent off for Celtic with 15 minutes to go. Full-time Hearts 2, Celtic 2.
So 2-2, Rangers winning 2-0 against Dundee. That's going to be quite a story, isn't it, in the second half of the season? And I know it's Rangers Hearts in a couple of weeks. Ian Dennis is going up there for the commentary on that one, so listen out for that. But Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0 here. Yet to properly get going, I would say.
No, it hasn't, in terms of a boxing match, shall we say, where one team's landing a blow on the other and it's end to end and there's chances. It isn't that. It's controlled pressure from Arsenal. It's having the ball, it's trying to work and manoeuvre the situation, and then when they can win the set play, put United under pressure. It's not setting you alight, John, is it really?
No, it's not. But Saliba and Odegaard,
if Arsenal do just grind this one, they'll be more than happy with that.
I think the two managers will be satisfied at the moment, because Arsenal are playing well, putting pressure on. You feel like maybe a goal for Arsenal isn't far away, but at the same time, Manchester United, Michael Carrick, I think he'll be pleased with the way that his team have dealt with Arsenal so far. Here's Zubamendi back on the halfway line, and then Declan Rice drops in there as well in the centre circle, gives it to Saliba to the right. Saliba just puts his foot on the ball and then goes back towards the halfway line again. It's interesting, I was reading Jamie Carragher in the newspaper yesterday saying, as far as he's concerned, it's no longer a matter of whether Arsenal will win a trophy, but how many. As Arsenal do come forward, the ball swept across the United box. Dorgu heads it away, Saka brings it down inside the box, then chips it back. Odegaard on and it's stabbed in by Gabriel Jesus in the 6-yard box. And Arsenal do find a way through in the first half hour. 1-0 they lead. And Arsenal get that crucial first goal.
Wow. I mean,
maybe an own goal off Martinez.
Yeah, I'm not sure who got the last shot. It could be Martinez, but for me, the player here is how Bukayo Saka finds this pass in between. It's so intricate and squeezed through a hole. He scoops it through. It's just a piece of brilliance, really, from an area that's so tight. His touch, as the header comes up in there, he plucks the ball down with his left foot. He's right in that corner of the box where he operates, and he sees Odegaard, and he scoops this little right-footed pass to Odegaard, who's nearer the penalty spot. He hits it with his left foot, and it's I think it's Timber in there, isn't it? It's Timber with Martinez, right in that number 9, Gabriel Jesus position.
I think it is Timber.
I think it is. It comes off of Timber and it goes through the legs of Martinez. It's a Timber goal.
Yeah,
he
it
gets
is.
the touch, but he's right in that centre forward position, middle of the 6-yard box, 4 yards out for a tap-in.
A little bit like we were saying about Saliba.
What's he doing in
What
there?
is Timber doing in there, in the 6-yard box?
I mean, you've got to bear in mind, the ball has been crossed from the left-hand side, John, all the way over to Saka, who's on the other side of the 18-yard box. And somehow Timber has arrived in the position where Gabriel Jesus would be. Incredible, here we go.
Oh, Manchester United breakaway down the other end, and Burmo's still going. They've yet to have an attempt on Raya's goal. Then back to Bruno Fernandes, who drags the shot wide from the edge of the area as he arrived onto it. And in the end, actually, it was probably 4 or 5 yards wide. Goal kick, Arsenal lead 1-0.
Yeah, really shanked effort, but I didn't quite think Mbeumo maybe made the most of that. He was nearly in, but the speed of Saliba to get back in and not allow Mbeumo to drive centrally with the ball and force him a little bit wider makes him then have to pick out Fernandes with the cut back and Fernandes with the shot. But great reaction from Saliba, but sloppy from Arsenal to end up in that position.
So as I say, Arsenal have won all 24 previous matches this season in which they've scored the opening goal. And here they are 1-0 up at the Emirates, where they've not lost since May in any competition. And Manchester United will have to come from behind after conceding for the first time since Michael Carrick took charge of the team again. So Arsenal 1, Manchester United 0. Going to go to Ibrox again in a moment, but Arsenal on the move. Goal scorer Timber to Saka inside the penalty area. Saka's forced outside the box, then he plays it square. Hincapié over there on the left-hand side. The Emirates, the home section's very much up after that opening goal, and Arsenal are looking for another one. There's a nutmeg on the far side by Hincapié, then the ball to the edge of the area is cleared away. Manchester United just clinging on here, and then Gabriel Jesus in a challenge with Maguire, which results in a free kick to Manchester United, and they will take the chance to have a breather. So to Ibrox and Martin Dowden.
Full-time Rangers 3, Dundee 0, a 6th league win in a row. Jedi Gassama adding a third right at the end of injury time. Rangers now 2 points clear of Celtic in second, just 4 adrift of leaders Hearts. What a title fight this is.
Yes, after Hearts 2, Celtic 2 in the other 3 o'clock kickoff, finished Portsmouth 1, Southampton 1 in the derby at Fratton Park. In the Premier League today, if you're listening to one of our commentaries earlier, it finished Brentford 0, Nottingham Forest 2, so Nottingham Forest back to 5 points above West Ham. Crystal Palace 1, Chelsea 3, so Chelsea up to 4th in the table, and Newcastle 0, Aston Villa 2 in what was the 5 Live commentary match, with the goals from Buendia and Watkins. But here Arsenal lead by 1-0, and that goal, Matt, in the 29th minute, I mean, it really was superbly worked by Saka and Odegaard. It was actually a very different goal, wasn't it? You don't often see a goal like that.
No, the intricacy of the right-footed pass. I'm watching it again. He tucks it to the right, and then he sees Odegaard level with the penalty spot, but nearer that side of the box to him, and he chips this little pass through. I think that's going to go down as
Bruno
a goal.
Fernandes could be in at the other end, and as he shoots for goal, the challenge comes in, which, well, Manchester United are suggesting Bruno Fernandes that took a deflection off the defender who came across, but referee Paulson says he got a view of that, and he said Bruno Fernandes swept it wide. Yeah,
big chance, gets slipped in, and Saliba makes a bad mistake, doesn't quite know his surroundings, lets the ball run across him, and Fernandes is in, and tiny little touch from Saliba just takes the ball off of Fernandes' foot. It was a goal, John. He was in. Fernandes scores from that situation, but Saliba slides last ditch and just touches the ball before he strikes it, and then he can't get the connection.
Here is Timber down the right. I'm saying he's the goal scorer. That last replay suggested
it's an own goal. It's an own goal.
It was off the back of the Achilles.
It's all going on.
Of Martinez.
It looked like his heel, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, so as I say, it's Achilles, wasn't it? Sort of flicked the back of his.
I agree. I don't know who it's been attributed to yet, whether they're still figuring that out.
I'm not sure they actually announced it, did they, inside the stadium? Let's see what the Magic app said.
It doesn't.
Martinez, 29 own goal.
There you go. So it wasn't Jesus, it wasn't Timber.
It was Martinez.
It was Martinez.
Yeah, so an own goal.
We'll get there in the end.
Yeah. And Manchester United, and they've had 2 chances. Bruno Fernandes, since the goal, that he wasn't able to take, and here they've won a corner, their first corner of the match.
Yeah, it was a real uncharacteristic mistake from Saliba that gave Fernandes that chance. He just about made up for it. He let the ball run across him, not knowing Fernandes was right behind him. He could just deal with it and clear it, but he thinks he can roll it back to Raya, and he very nearly got caught out.
Arsenal winning 1-0, 5 Live in the World Service from the BBC. Corner for Manchester United. Amad Diallo to take this. Left-footed in towards the near post. 2 Arsenal men go for it. It's headed across the face of the goal. Raya went for it at the punch, so there's a defender there as well, and between all of them, they've managed to clear it far enough for Saka to prod it out of play for a Manchester United throw.
It's not easy to pick those United kits out amongst the crowd, John. When they're standing out there, it like really blends in. I'm struggling to see the corner taker over there. I wondered if anyone had gone over to take the corner, and then
what a bit like the famous.
I just saw the ball move.
A bit like the famous grey kit at Southampton.
That's right.
When they lost 6-3.
Yeah.
Well, did they change the kit at half time?
They did. Yeah, changed it at half time.
Yeah.
That's never been done before, has it? Or since?
Well, I don't know.
Maybe.
They said they couldn't see each other, didn't they?
Yeah.
As Arsenal lead Manchester United by 1-0, and it does look as though it is a Lisandro Martinez own goal. But what we're talking about, it being unique, was the little ball that Saka sort of chipped between 2 Manchester United players, and then a first-time touch from Odegaard to sort of prod it. Given away by Zubamendi, and Burmo round Raya scores. It's the equaliser, and the tightest defence in the Premier League this season makes a terrible error. Zubamendi with the pass that went astray, and Brian Mbeumo makes it Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1.
Well, they've got away with one mistake already, Arsenal. The Saliba one moments ago, but they haven't got away with this one. It is glaring from Zubamendi. I don't quite know what's going through his head. He passes the ball inside to Saliba, and then he wants to play it first time back to Raya, and it's just not on, even if he hits the right pass. And the reason why Mbeumo gets it, because he stubs it into the ground with a really poor connection. He bobbles it straight to Mbeumo. But I just think even if he cleanly gets that pass back to Raya, it's just not on. The pressure's too high from United. He can't play it back to the goalkeeper, and Mbeumo takes it round Raya. There's a last-ditch attempt from Gabriel, who gets a slight touch on the ball, but really it's an open goal, and he slots it in, no problem. Arsenal get punished for sloppy play.
Well, we haven't said that too much about the Arsenal defence or Zubamendi this season. Being one of their best players. Listen, anyone can make a mistake like that.
Yep.
But that was a horror, wasn't it? Really, in a match like this?
It was. It was a horror, and the reaction from Mikel Arteta, the reaction from Zubamendi, head in the hands, he knows straight away. But is it over confidence, John? I mean, it's been such a confident start to this game. Arsenal have played with real energy.
Jesus, excellent. Back to Zubamendi. Zubamendi with a shot that hits Maguire and bounces away over there to the far side. And in the aftermath of the goal, as Manchester United's players celebrated, David Raya actually turned to the supporters in the North Bank stand behind him and urged them to get behind the team and not to lose heart, I suppose.
Well, there was quite a feisty reaction in front of us here, wasn't there? The supporters were, really got kind of unhappy with the mistake.
I've seen that once or twice over the years.
Yeah.
We have,
but
don't speak too loudly, man.
But it happens, John, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In any game, it can happen.
It can. I think as anyone who's played the game would acknowledge. It's Arsenal win a free kick over on the left-hand side. Every player, doesn't matter how good you are, that can happen.
Yeah.
As Trossard was fouled by Dalot, who of course could easily have been suspended for this match.
Yes, he could.
Had he been sent off last weekend, as many felt that he should have been.
Yeah. Could have been.
Yeah,
could have been. I think if on field they give a red card for that, you'd back it, wouldn't you?
Yes, you
would.
The
decision stayed on field, and I don't mind that either.
Yeah, on Jeremy Doku. So here Dalot concedes the free kick, and Arsenal organised themselves. Arsenal won, Manchester United won after Brian Mbeumo's equaliser that was gifted to him by Zubamendi. Manchester United supporters in good voice after that. An unexpected turn of events to see Arsenal concede a goal like that, but they've got a set piece. They love this. Rice to deliver, right foot from the left, in it goes. Lamont comes and makes a good catch. Oh, that was a tester, wasn't it?
I mean,
as players from both teams were crowding into him to catch the ball like that.
It's like a wave of shirts, wasn't it, going straight into him, and he was going against the flow and came out really brave and bold and managed to catch the ball. It was top goalkeeping, that.
Yeah, all of those goalkeepers who work with us these days, whether it's Rob Green or Paul Robinson, it's the sort of thing that would give an old goalkeeper the vapours, wouldn't it, to see that? The memories coming back. Here is Menu in the centre circle. Menu playing it to Luke Shaw, just inside Arsenal territory.
A few sloppy errors just dropping into Arsenal's game with the ball. A couple of misplaced passes. I mean, for half an hour, I'd go as far as to say it's been a schooling, really, in terms of how you set up and play and structure. Arsenal have been brilliant, but just 2 or 3 errors have crept in, and Manchester United have benefited.
Amad Diallo doing well down the right. Not really seen him run at Hincapié or the Arsenal defence. This almost the first time, I think, and he's won a corner as well for Manchester United. After coming back from the Cup of Nations, he had a good Cup of Nations, didn't he, with Ivory Coast, scoring 3 goals for the holders. Eventually went out in the quarter-finals. So Amad Diallo preparing to take this, just their second corner, but they caused problems, didn't they, with their first corner that Arsenal struggled to get away. So to our left, Amad Diallo just waiting and waiting. You can see him all right over there, can't you?
See how he blends in,
yes,
though,
he does blend in. Amad Diallo playing it in. Raya comes through, gets a good, well, whether he got a punch or whether the defender got the header, it did the trick. And Arsenal now, as it comes back to the edge of the area, nice touch from Odegaard. Gabriel Jesus then stabs it forward. Trossard is going to take it on. Red and white shirts pouring forward to the edge of the Manchester United box. Here's the cross from Hincapié, but it's over everyone inside the penalty area. And actually Odegaard's going to do well to keep this in. And then he tugs Casemiro down. Just a hand on the shoulder.
Oh, it's clever.
Casemiro, as they say, needed no second invitation to go down and wins the free kick.
No, he didn't. He had half an invitation and he grabbed it. Clever, because Odegaard's trying to stop him play the ball forwards, and the moment he gets the wrong side of him, the legs collapse, and I can see it does look like a foul, but there's very little contact. Clever from Casemiro.
So never mind a second invitation, he didn't actually get a first
invitation.
No, he didn't. Just
half
an invitation.
Yeah, not even one, John.
As Saliba was able to deal with this long ball downfield. Casemiro wearing gloves today. I'm not surprised Brazilians wearing gloves in these sort of temperatures. Here's Odegaard passing it forward to the angle to Gabriel Jesus, but it bounced off and into the path of Martinez. Arsenal groans, and I suspect Mikel Arteta, hearing that sort of reaction, he might be suggesting to the Arsenal fans to really get behind them like they did in the opening stages.
Well, Phil, our engineer's got 2 pairs of gloves on, John, just in case you needed a pair during the commentary. He's wearing 2.
I shouldn't be complaining about the cold after Buda this week. Arctic Circle.
How was that? Good?
It actually wasn't that cold.
Was it not?
Yeah, and I had the most comfortable seat I had ever sat on to commentate on.
An interesting game as well.
Yeah, certainly interesting.
Yeah,
that was remarkable. So in the last couple of weeks I've had Macclesfield, Crystal Palace and Buda Glimt Manchester City on artificial pitches. Here's Martinez down the left, hits the cross, but it actually hit Doku, his teammate, bounced down for Saka, who went down very easily.
Is that half an invitation?
It was half an invitation, and he accepted that as well.
He did.
It's a free kick to Arsenal.
Actually, his boots come off, so we'll say he got a full invitation for there, because I think he did obviously clearly stand on his boot. It hasn't just fell off by itself.
No.
But Mikel Arteta just sat down on his bench having a chat with his backroom staff, and this game's had a funny turn from being, I think, really positive for 31, 32 minutes, looking dominant, absolutely running the game, getting the goal, to then just handing it back to United, who are very much in this game and just look like they've got the possibility to bizarrely steal something, John. It just has got that feel.
It felt like the die was cast, didn't it?
It did, it really
and then
did.
Arsenal took the lead.
Yeah.
And now Mbeumo scoring, just as he did for Michael Carrick last weekend, so 2 goals in 2 matches. And that's a managerial call, isn't it, to play on Burmo, Sesko on the bench
That's a good one.
today, and Cunha.
I think it really works. I like the balance of the team. I think, you know, Fernandes right in that number 10 with the two wide and Buemo down the middle.
It's a funny one, isn't it? Arsenal and Manchester United, these two clubs spending all that money on two centre-forwards last summer, and for this match, both centre-forwards are on the bench.
Yeah.
Here is Amad Diallo. Over there, just weaves back into his own half and then passes it back to Harry Maguire. 2 minutes of added time. 1-1. Arsenal taking the lead through the Martinez own goal. Brilliantly worked by Odegaard and Saka. But Mbeumo with the equaliser. So 1-1. And Arsenal potentially on course for 3 Premier League draws in a row as the ball is played in. And Mbeumo hooks it goalwards, but it drops wide. Raya made me think that might have been heading in with his body language, but it was always going to spin wide of the goal and behind.
Interesting attempt, wasn't it? As the ball comes in, it's flighting over Mbeumo's right shoulder. He just stutters and then thinks, I'll just try and lob this first time. Gets right underneath it. But it had Raya scampering for sure. He wasn't sure whether it was going to drop down, but well over the crossbar in the end.
There's Steve Holland coming to the side of his manager, Michael Carrick. That was the surprise call, wasn't it, when Steve Holland was announced as part of the coaching team. Jonathan Woodgate as well, quite bizarre to see him out there today with his purple Manchester United coat on before the match, having been with us at the Bernabeu just a few weeks ago, alongside me doing what you're doing today. Well, suddenly thrust back into the limelight with the former Leeds United man with a Manchester United badge on his coat. Balls out for a throw-in on the far side, and just look at all of the empty seats that are appearing around the Emirates Stadium. We're in added time at the end of the first half.
Do you know how big the queue gets here for a drink at half time, John?
Do you know how much
trying to get ahead of it?
Do you know how much it costs to watch Premier League football?
Yeah, true. I think it's.
But I'll miss a bit of it to make sure I go and get a drink.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And not support
got to get your priorities right.
I think that is a very fair point.
Yeah,
getting your priorities right. Thrown for Manchester United up the line, headed away, then cleared up in the air by Bruno Fernandes, and there we are, all square at half-time, probably unexpectedly. 1-1.
Yes, unexpected given how the game has played out. For half an hour, Arsenal looking far superior in my eyes. I thought they got hold of the game. Structure, build-up, pressure, the whole lot was looking like a title-winning team. Get the goal from some lovely play, really clever ball from Saka, and then hand 2 opportunities to Manchester United. One they get away with because Saliba just recovers. The second one is totally unrecoverable. It was terminal, that pass from Zubimendi, and they paid the ultimate price, which was to concede a goal, which they don't like to do here, because they base their foundation on solid, match-winning choices, certainly as defenders, and they've slipped up here in that department. So big moment for Mikel Arteta at half-time here. Arsenal need to come out and assert their authority again in the second half. Yes,
and they'd already given up a couple of chances to Bruno Fernandes by there. That slipped by Saliba. So, this could be the building of the pressure that we've been talking about for such a long time that would come on Arsenal at some stage or other. Half-time here at the Emirates. Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1.
The good news for you too, John, is that you can go and get in the queue for a drink, because I've got Julien Laurent to speak to.
Well, don't worry, we're not leaving our seats.
Okay.
And I hope that point has been made.
I think so. Right, Jules, what an absolute gift of an equaliser.
Yeah, it's a shame really, because like the boys said, for the first half hour there was only one team on the pitch really. It was almost perfect from an Arsenal point of view. The way they moved the ball, the counter-pressing. So every time United recovered the ball, they lost it after 2 or 3 passes, after 3 or 5 seconds. It was pretty much, ideal for Arsenal. They took the lead. They had that chance from Zubimendi earlier, the header saved by Lamens. And okay, maybe you could have won. Maybe they wanted to create more chances, but because you put United under pressure so much, they could never even get out of their own half at times. You were in so much control and you were 1-0 up, and then I think maybe they took the eye of the ball a little bit. Arsenal, what I felt United did was to play a bit higher up on that pitch, to put a bit more intensity, because for the first half hour United was just watching. that was not good enough from an attitude point of view, let alone tactically or technically. But from an attitude point of view, he got much better after that goal. And then you saw Bruno Fernandes playing higher up the pitch. You saw them putting a bit more pressure on Gabriel and Saliba, on Zubimendi and Rice as well. And you still don't expect Arsenal to make those mistakes anyway. Zubimendi has been wonderful this season, but if you start putting a bit more pressure, if those Arsenal players have to look back a little bit more and scan a little bit more because they don't know anymore where Bruno is, because before he was in front of them because United were a bit deeper, suddenly you could have them behind you, you could have them come in and close you down, which was not the case in the first half hour, and that's also put pressure on Zubimendi, for example, to make him do that bad pass.
And what about the way that Arsenal have been setting up? Because one of the features of that first half of commentary was John and Matt saying, what is he doing there? Is that specific to this game? Because it has been interesting, you know, Saliba all of a sudden popping up inside the area, Jurrien Timber popping up where he was to score the goal.
Yeah, I mean, the Saliba one on that transition for Arsenal is simply because Arsenal for that first half hour were so on the front foot, and Saliba especially, one of his roles today is to man mark in a way Bruno Fernandes when Bruno is higher up the pitch, and on that recovered ball from Gabriel Jesus and Arsenal, Saliba was behind Bruno, who lost the ball, so he kept his run basically, and that's why he ended up there. For Timber, and more than Nkapie really, he's often been in on that half space on the right hand side. John mentioned a ball from Saka earlier on, a bit overhit, but that was for Timber in the half space there. The difference between this today and last week against City, for a United point of view, last week it was quite easy for them to defend against the City wingers because Ahmad would double up with Dalot on the right hand side against Doku, and on the other side it was Dorgu with Shaw. Today, because Timber, more than Nkapie, but Timber on the right hand side especially, picks up those positions inside onto the half space or in the box, that forces Shaw to go with Timber, which leaves Dorgu 1v1 with Saka. And we heard the boys on commentary, there's a couple of times where Dorgu was beaten far too easily by Saka, who almost made a mistake, and that's how Timber ended up there. And that's very much more difficult to pick up defensively from the opposition than it was, for example, against City last weekend.
Jules, thank you. So Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1. Second half commentary to come. Other full times in the Premier League: Brentford 0, Forest 2, Palace 1, Chelsea 3, Newcastle 0, Aston Villa 2. In the Championship it finished Portsmouth 1, Southampton 1, Hearts 2, Celtic 2. Hearts twice coming from behind to get a point, which keeps them clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership. So they're 6 points above Celtic, but Rangers now are second and 4 points below Hearts after their 3-0 win over Dundee. In the Women's Super League, Manchester City have gone 9 points clear after a 2-1 win at London City Lionesses. Other scores: Villa 1, Man United 4, Leicester 1, West Ham 2, Liverpool 2, Tottenham 0. We'll wrap around as much reaction to those stories as we can and speak to Robbie Savage ahead of 6:06, all after the news with Dan Maudsley.
The Voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Housing Secretary Steve Reed has defended the Labour Party's decision to block the Mayor of Greater Manchester, Andy Burnham, from standing in a Westminster by-election, saying it would have triggered a costly mayoral election. The Prime Minister was among those on Labour's National Executive Committee who voted to deny his potential leadership rival an opportunity to return to the Commons. A US Republican senator has called for a joint federal and state investigation into the fatal shooting of a man by Border Patrol agents in the US city of Minneapolis. Officials have given conflicting accounts of the killing of 37-year-old Alex Pretty. Officials in Louisiana say 2 people have died of hypothermia as a severe winter storm sweeps across the US. More than 600,000 homes and businesses have lost power, with Tennessee, Texas and Mississippi also badly affected. And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has described the BBC broadcaster Sir Mark Tully as a towering voice of journalism after his death was announced at the age of 90. Sir Mark led the corporation's reporting of some key events in South Asia, including the birth of Bangladesh, military rule in Pakistan and the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan.
This is our BBC.
A nice bright start to the day for many of us now.
It could take us anywhere.
I hear we're going down the beach.
Raise questions.
So let's try and join all the dots.
Bring us down to earth.
Floating in a spacesuit.
We can share it with others.
Joining us live at the Royal Albert Hall.
Raising billions.
Children Need are going to help so many people with that money.
Join millions of people.
Other creatures are also listening.
Building our future.
The BBC has put £5 billion into the economy.
There's a BBC for each of us, funded by all of us. This is our BBC.
This is 5 Live Sports with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Arsenal won, Manchester United won, half-time in the Premier League, second half commentary on the way. Already today, Emi Buendia and Ollie Watkins got the goals for Aston Villa. They beat Newcastle 2-0. It's the first time they've won at St James's Park since 2005 and takes them back level with Manchester City in second. Let's hear from one of the goal scorers. Here's Buendia.
To come here to face this team in these stadiums is always really difficult, but we prepare the game very well mentally. We know we have to compete like we did. We show some character and I think we deserve the 3 points today.
Talk us through your goal. I mean, that was quite spectacular, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was obviously a really nice goal to help the team. With that start in the game, it's really good. So I know I'm capable of doing this, so I have to try more.
Do you feel in good form this season? Do you feel confident enough to keep trying those?
Yes, of course, definitely. Obviously, I knew from the beginning I could stay here and help this team. I fight for every place I can be because I want to help this club to achieve all the goals we have together. So, and obviously helping with goals like today is really good.
Emi Buendia with Chris Sykes, who's also been speaking to Newcastle manager Eddie Howe.
We knew the importance of the game. We knew that we wanted to continue to build momentum. We knew that we are running out of opportunities to do that. These games are massive because the schedule we have going forward is not easy. So for all those reasons, we're hugely disappointed. But football has a way of kicking you sometimes when you think you can see the team really gathering. In some senses, the performance I'm a bit confused over because I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it was, a poor performance, but I don't think it was certainly us at our best, and that's probably what we needed to be to win.
Crystal Palace's problems continue. They're now 11 games without a win in all competitions. They lost 3-1 this afternoon at home to Chelsea. Let's hear if their manager is calm this week. Here's Oliver Glasner.
Honestly, it's not, I think, this one reason. For me, it's always tough to explain because then for me it feels always like excuses. I think there are a few obvious reasons with the tight schedule and then coming injuries and players looked a little bit, let's say, overplayed, fatigue. Not then, the results were not as good anymore, and then it's step by step, and all of a sudden you are in a downward spiral, and it's now for us to get this cut. But I know this group of players, I know my staff, I know myself, I know the board, so we will all now stick together and get this turnaround.
It's 4 wins in 5 though at Chelsea for Liam Rosenior. They're up to 4th.
Very good away performance, disciplined, organised, frustrated not to have a clean sheet when you go 3-0 up against 10 men. But overall, I can't be too down because I thought the players were magnificent in their engagement tactically to the game, and the quality we showed in the final third was very, very good.
Esteval, wow.
Yeah, he's a special talent. I've got a few special talents in my group. Well, what pleased me best, obviously the goal. But the goal starts because he's back in helping the team defend the box, and then we get a transition moment because the team is connected. What a talent he is, a fantastic goal. The whole group were really, really good today. It's not about the individual.
Liam Rosenior there with Aaron Paul. Nottingham Forest have extended the gap over the relegation zone to 5 points. They won 2-0 at Brentford. Here's Sean Dyche.
Yeah, very pleased. Tough place to come. I mean, they've had a fantastic season so far at home. And delivered a very good performance in different ways. First half used the ball really well and looked a threat. Second half had to play more on the counter. And credit to them, for forcing us back, but we defended very, very well. And a fine goal from T and from Igor, by the way, two really good goals.
2 great goals. Is that a bit of a feeling of finally, finally I've been rewarded for some good performances, actually leaving the ground with 3 points and a win?
You say that, but we're taking 7 points out the last 3 games. So, the noise in football changes quickly, and that's a really good performance against the top side away from at their home, and really pleased with that.
Sean Dyche there, speaking underwater, I think, from the sounds of it. Big win for Nottingham Forest. That elsewhere, Championship side Leicester City have sacked manager Martí Cifuentes after just 6 months in charge. They are 14th in the Championship. They lost 2-1 at home to Oxford United on Saturday. That's 11 defeats in 29 games. One other dismissal to tell you about. League Two, Fleetwood Town have sacked manager Pete Wild after 6 defeats in 7 games. They currently sit 15th in the division. So loads to talk about on 606 08085 909 693. Get your calls in now. The lines are open to speak to Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage. Afternoon.
After who'd be a manager, I have to listen to all that.
You were hating listening to all the disappointed managers there.
Well, I was disappointed yesterday. Listen, got beat by Scunthorpe, but listening to a few of the managers there, when you play well, you can be disappointed, but for us yesterday, we played so well, but Scunthorpe beat us 3-2, and Andy Butler's doing a great job there. So listen, did they deserve it? Probably not, but listen, they're a fantastic side. But managers, obviously Leicester, looking for a new manager, Steve.
Should have some phone calls tonight.
Yeah, Leicester fans, obviously, they do phone up 606, so who do they want as the next manager in charge, or will it be a head coach? What's the difference between a head coach and a manager?
If somebody rings up and say they want you, will you encourage the production team to put them on air?
Other news.
Come on. What are you expecting me to ask you?
Great win for Dicey, Nottingham Forest. That takes them, doesn't it, 5 points above West Ham with a great win yesterday. This is currently 1-1. Big win for Chelsea. Liam Rosenior, off to a good start. Lots to talk about, Stephen. Hearts against Celtic, 2-2. Good day for Rangers. Rangers winning 3-0. So as Chris said, a good day for Rangers. I think they're coming back out, Steve.
Yeah, they are. You're dodging me, but I approve. All right.
See you later.
Thank you, Robbie. 08085 909 693. You can get your calls in for 606 at the Australian Open. Top seeds Carlos Alcaraz and Arina Sabalenka are both through to the quarterfinals after straight sets win. Elsewhere, Alexander Zverev and Coco Gauff have both secured their places in the last 8. Novak Djokovic has had a walkover into the quarterfinals. Jakub Mensik unfortunately had to withdraw through injury. Tennis Breakfast is back tomorrow, 7 a.m. on 5 Sports Extra. Right, I think we're ready to go then. Looking up at the Emirates second half commentary of Arsenal versus Manchester United with Matt Upson and correspondent John Murray.
Yes, thank you, Steve. The Manchester United players are out there. We're still waiting for Arsenal. The deep purple coats of the Manchester United coaching staff are one by one taking their places in the dugout. And still we wait for Arsenal. Well, I can see the Manchester United players are all out there, so I'll run you through their team. No changes. Here come Arsenal now. Manchester United, Lamont in goal, Dalot, Maguire, Martinez and Shaw, Casemiro and Mainu with Bruno Fernandes, and then Amad Diallo, Patrick Dorgu wide of Brian and Burmo. So the same team that started the Manchester derby and found themselves 1-0 down here just inside the half hour. The Martinez own goal, but Arsenal conceding the equaliser, scored by Brian and Burmo. They're out there, they're in the huddle, and now they're getting ready. And yes, also, as they started the match, Raya in goal, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel and Hincapié, Zubamendi, Odegaard and Rice in midfield, Saka on the right, Trossard on the left, and Gabriel Jesus through the middle with Gyökeres on the bench and Havertz not involved today. Matthew Upson sitting next to me. Arsenal about to kick off the second half. All square, Matt, 1-1.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? I just feel like Arsenal maybe slipped into a comfortable mode in that first half. It was, really dominant first half, and now United really not getting after them at all. And whether or not they got just a little bit too comfortable, John, I feel, as Jules mentioned at half-time, about United just stepped up the press a little bit and caught Arsenal out a couple of times, and they paid the price. But they'll want to get back into that rhythm, Arsenal, of just being dominant and controlling the game and pressing, building attacks, getting the ball into Saka. They're going to have to do that really well in order to get 3 points out of this game, because United, I think, will be quite stubborn.
That's Matthew Upson, England World Cup defender. We're watching Hincapié deflecting the ball out of play for a throw-in just down in front of us here. Our low commentary position at the Emirates today. Remember, Arsenal played in the Champions League in midweek. What a good win that was against the finalists last year, to go there and win by 3-1. So 7 wins out of 7 in the Champions League. First time Arsenal have ever won 7 matches in a row in the Champions League, which means their match against bottom of the table Kairat here on Wednesday, that's top against bottom. Mikel Arteta can really play whatever team he wants. There'll be a raft of changes for that match, because they're sure to finish either top, probably top, or at worst second. Here's Saka over there on the right hand side. Manchester United haven't got any commitments like that at all now left in the cup competitions this season. So the other side of that is that Michael Carrick has got all week to prepare for matches like this, while Arsenal went to Milan and back, and it is Manchester United in the black shirts, black shorts with the yellow trim and the yellow socks, playing from left to right towards the end where the Manchester United fans are. In that corner I can see them waving up and down one of the red, white and black flags there are attached to the entrance to that section of the ground. Manchester United come forward again with Luke Shaw back at left back now, and Michael Carrick, but it runs away from him and out of play for a throw into Arsenal.
Well, you'd think that may play a part in this game, John. The difference in the two teams' schedules this week and for quite some period of time. Once you get into that last 25 minutes of the game, you'd fancy United to really be a little bit fresher, wouldn't you? We'll have to wait and see, but that could well play a part.
Arsenal have played 10 more matches this season than Manchester United in all competitions. It's United's 25th, it's Arsenal's 35th.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, playing regularly, being in the rhythm, winning matches, all of that does boost you and give you that edge for sure. But you just think tiredness could creep in. I mean, that's a tough away fixture at Inter, and to get that result and then come back and have this game could well be challenging.
Clever Maguire wins a free kick from Gabriel Jesus. There wasn't much contact there, but Maguire went tumbling, rolling down onto the ground, got the free kick. Now he's taken the free kick from the wrong place, I suspect hoping that referee Pawson would say to him to move it again, but he didn't. You know, this is Manchester United. This is like any team would, managing the game, breaking it up, trying to make it frustrating for the leaders. And that's a lovely roll infield by Dalot against Trossard. Just looked as though he had a little nibble at him there, Trossard, when the ball had gone away. Now Luke Shaw over there on the far side. Luke Shaw back to Martinez. In the first half, if you weren't listening to us on 5 Live, or the World Service as well, welcome to the World Service listeners back with us now here in North London at the Emirates Stadium. It looked like the pattern had been set in the first half. Arsenal dominant, scored the opening goal, the own goal. But then Manchester United had a couple of opportunities for Fernandes, and then the mistake from Zubimendi led to the Mbeumo equaliser. So it's a different match, and now Arsenal are having to deal with something a little different, because the pressure is ratcheting up on them after Manchester City's win yesterday. Aston Villa winning earlier, so they're both on 46 points, Arsenal on 50. Here's Mainoo as well, comes out with the ball, middle of the Arsenal half, back to Casemiro. Casemiro announced this week that he will be leaving at the end of the season, the veteran Brazilian. Ball to the edge of the area, that's cleared away by Gabriel. No one down there for Arsenal, and cries and shouts of frustration from the Arsenal supporters. I'm not sure that's helpful.
Yeah, Manchester United just won a couple of little loose balls and niggly challenges and 50-50s, just popping into the United path at the moment, and they've had much more of the ball at the start of this second half than what they did at the start of the first half.
Casemiro to Martinez. Now here's Dorgu in a more central position, gives it to Fernandes, then back to Dorgu again, edge of the area, shoots, oh, it's in off the crossbar. Manchester United lead here at the Emirates against Arsenal by 2 goals to 1. What a rattler that was from Dorgu. Hit the crossbar, bounced down, bounced up into the back of the net. This could be such a shock here in the title race. Arsenal defenders looking at one another while Manchester United players celebrate in the corner. Arsenal, unbeaten here for 9 months, are losing 2-1 to Manchester United.
What a goal that is. That is incredible. The finish, I mean, the best way to describe it is it's the kind of goal that you picture scoring as a kid and try and reinvent it in the back garden. It's one of those where the ball's bouncing and he hits it high on the kind of volley. I mean, it's out of nowhere really. He nudges it through. I think they're taking a look to see whether this ball grazes an arm on the way through. I don't think it does. But Dorgu allows it to come through. The tackle from Zubimendi isn't there. And then it sits up nicely, hits it on the volley, and that is off the crossbar, bouncing onto the floor, back into the roof of the net, rattling around the back of the net, the ball. Lovely goal to see go in, but I think it has been awarded, hasn't it, John? Has that been cleared?
VAR looking at a potential handball
that would be incredibly harsh. It really would.
Goal's been given. Manchester United supporters celebrate that as well. They've seen that on the screens. Goal given, no handball. Did it brush his wrist?
I think it flirted with it, to be honest, but not enough, John. From what I can see on the replays, it might have grazed the wrist at some point, but I don't think the video evidence was conclusive. But what a goal, hey? How about that for a finish? It's just stunning finish from Dorgu.
Arsenal 1, Manchester United 2. Arsenal unbeaten here at the Emirates all season. Back to the Bournemouth game last season. Do you remember in May of last season when Bournemouth won here for the first time? As Arsenal ended up runners-up in the Premier League for a third year in a row. And Michael Carrick's Manchester United beat Manchester City in his first match back as the head coach, now winning at the home of the leaders.
Incredible. You can't write it, can you? You really cannot write it. I mean, it's just had that feel, the game. I know we've said it all the way through. It was so almost easy for Arsenal in the first half now, no threat, and now they're banging in trouble.
They're onto it again. Dorgu from the wide angle left side of the penalty area flashed the shot, but it's well wide of the near post and into the fans behind the goal. So Mbeumo and Dorgu, just like last weekend. Same goal scorers for Michael Carrick.
A little bit of unrest here as well, John. The Arsenal fans are starting to feel almost like the pressure is in and around the crowd as well. They're kind of seeing what's unravelling here and getting a little bit worried.
From the back from Maguire, but Raya comes out of the penalty area. Nothing he could do about that. Goal from Dorgu, hit with his left foot round the edge of the area, struck it so well, clipped the underside of the crossbar, bounced down. I think it bounced down over the line, but then up again into the roof of the net. That's why it looked so spectacular as Arsenal come forward. Saka with a cross, headed away, comes out to Hincapié, who miscontrols it. Again, Arsenal supporters in my eye line. I see them throwing up the arms because Hincapié couldn't control that.
It certainly played a part in the sense that you're playing very much a defensive player in that position with the ball. It hasn't been as effective as what you would expect from a Lewis Skelly or that type of player, but defensively he's been pretty sound in Hincapié.
Arsenal unbeaten here in 17 matches in all competitions since that Bournemouth defeat last season. Won 14, drawn 3 of them. But here they are losing. Saka cutting across the edge of the penalty area on his left foot, hits the shot. That's blocked inside the penalty area by a Manchester United player. Bounces out for Arsenal again. The 3 draws, by the way. The 1-1 against Manchester City earlier this season, as Saka plays it into the box to Jesus. Jesus trying to turn against Martinez. Martinez has been able to deflect it behind. And then there's a little coming together between Jesus and Martinez over the dead ball line. Arsenal are about to make a change. It would appear Eza is going to be sent on. Might be a double change, actually. Gyökeres looks as though he might be about to. Yes, he's taking his gloves off. So Mikel Arteta, with less than 10 minutes played in the second half. And just saying again, Matt, that Martinez Jesus, what happened there?
It's hard to explain why Martinez's left hand has gone around and smacked on the back of Gabriel Jesus' head. It didn't seem necessary to me. He's trying to kind of style it out like it was part of the action of pressurising the ball, but he's a wily competitor, isn't he, Martinez? I think he knows how to leave a little sly dig in there, and I think he might have just done that there with Gabriel Jesus.
Ben White coming on as well. Might be a triple change. So decisive from Mikel Arteta. Eza, White and Gyökeres. And this is Arsenal, remember, with the corner. Saka takes this into the near post. Goalkeeper comes. Oh, got a hand to it. Was cleared away off out of the 6-yard box. Not sure it was necessarily off the line, but it had to be cleared away, volleyed away after goalkeeper came. Got only half a punch on it. Arsenal still coming forward. Saka over there on the right-hand side, plays it back to Declan Rice. Rice controls it. Arsenal trying now to come from 2-1 down here at the Emirates. Ball played forward and then hooked away, and Manchester United bring it away with Mbeumo. So Arsenal led in the first half through the own goal, but Mbeumo and Dorgu have turned it around. Still a long way to go. Rice, and then the shot outside the penalty area blocked There was a flailing arm possibly on the edge of the penalty area after that shot was hit goalwards, but then the offside flag actually goes up on the far side, and it's a Manchester United free kick. And I think Mikel Arteta will make, it's going to be a quadruple substitution with Mikel Merino coming on as well.
That's a statement, isn't it? And it hasn't been good enough to start the second half from Arsenal. There's no doubt in that. I mean, Declan Rice just came in and pressurised the midfield, won that ball back brilliantly for Arsenal. And it's like someone like him has really got to raise the tempo here at the moment. It's a little bit flat, it's a little bit on his backside, to be honest. And these 4 changes may be a big reason for that.
Well, we heard Arne Slot, didn't we, last night when he was live on 5 Live, talking about how playing in the Champions League in Marseille had taken its toll in the final minutes. Manchester United have had all week to prepare for this. So, coming off, Matt, Gabriel Jesus after his first Premier League start of the season, Odegaard and Zubimendi from the midfield, and Hincapié, who's just coming back after 4 matches out.
Which you'd expect in Hincapié, I get that one. I think he'll switch Timber over to the left, Ben White's gone over to the right, and Eze looks to be very, very kind of high up alongside Gyökeres. We'll have to see how the midfield plays out. Trossard's tucked in a little bit from the left. You've got Rice sat in there, Merino. Interesting changes from Arteta, but I think just the freshness, really, just bringing it back. It's been a flat start to the second half.
Yeah. So Arsenal 1, Manchester United 2, and that is quite the move from Mikel Arteta to make a quadruple substitution with just over half an hour to play, trying to force the issue, really, as the ball comes back over the top. And Arsenal now, what are they doing in that midfield? Well, Rice seems to be more in a central area. There's Merino, of course, in there now as well.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like, I mean, Jules has just signalled to me, it looks like a 4-2-3-1. And I'd agree with that. It would suit the personnel that's come on the pitch. And like I say, Eze will be very high up just off of Gyökeres.
So, 5 Live in the World Service from the BBC. On 5 Live, the lines are open for 606. Could be lots to talk about from this match. 08085 909 693, and that number is free to ring from mobiles and landlines. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton taking your calls on a Sunday night. Leicester City supporters after Marty Cifuentes was given his cards earlier today, and Fleetwood's Pete Wild as well. So 2 managerial departures to talk about, but certainly Robbie, former Leicester player, I'm sure we'll want to hear calls from Leicester City fans. But it may well be that this dominates. Arsenal 1, Manchester United 2. And Arsenal bringing the ball forward from the back. Here is Gabriel. This will be music to the ears of Manchester City followers after the difficult week that they've had, getting back on track with a win against Wolves yesterday. But now Villa as well, after their win earlier. If it stays like this, the gap will be down to 4 points. Arsenal's lead at the top of the table as they attempt to win the league for the first time since 2004. Still chasing success on all 4 fronts. Here's Eze now receiving the ball. Hat-trick scorer against Tottenham in the North London derby. He's not scored since. Here is Timber. Now Ben White. So Timber's moved across with White coming onto the field forward. Arsenal on the attack, but it's deflected away behind, and it is a corner from the right-hand side.
Yeah, Arsenal needs something. I think it was Merino there with the forward run, but they've, a few players, the likes of Rice, Merino, who's great in the air, attacking set plays or any kind of crosses. It needs something, this game, from an Arsenal player. It needs a spark. It's gone really flat.
Yeah, they could do something from one of their trusty corners. Saka to take this one. Lammen struggled a little with the last one. Saka waits off the field, raises his right arm. Lammen's has been crowded. Saka's delivery to the near post, that is headed away by Casemiro. Comes back out to Arsenal on the right hand side with Saka, who drives at the 2 defenders in front of him, and Burmo is there helping out his defence along with Bruno Fernandes. They were able to get a touch on it to deflected out for a throw into Arsenal 10 yards back from the corner flag. Sea of faces in the stands behind the throw-in taker for Arsenal. 2-1 Manchester United lead. 5 Live in the World Service from the BBC. Throw-in taken back up the line, and it'll, I think, be played infield towards Eza. Eza's pass forward is deflected. Then Eza dives in. Trossard is there as well. Eza nicely plays it to the space here to Gabriel, and then back to Timber. And Arsenal just try to reassert the kind of control that they had in the opening half hour of this match. Eberici Eza, then square to Saliba, now out again to Saka on the right flank, involved in the opening goal. Saka curls it into the 6-yard box, but too close to Lamans, and the Manchester United goalkeeper can make the catch.
Yeah, really comfortable catch, not a threatening cross into the box at all from Saka. Nobody going to get a hold of that other than the goalkeeper. And there's a real edginess that just creeping into the fans. I feel a bit of frustration and a little bit of anger. It's not kind of like a almost get behind the team moment. It's just that I think the supporters are in shock, John, to be honest. That this game has been turned on its head by a mistake and an absolute wonder strike from Dorgu of just set this game in a completely different direction than what anyone else sat in this stadium would have been expecting, you feel, after the first half an hour. And now Arsenal have got a real problem to have to solve, and at the moment they're not really quite getting into the rhythm in order to look like they're going to be able to do that. It's not quite happening.
That's Matt Upson with us on 5 Live. Manchester United leading by 2-1. First time that Arsenal have conceded 2 goals in a match here all season. Indeed, since that defeat against Bournemouth in May last year. So that's part of the shock to the system as well. Such a rarity.
Yeah, I don't think they've lost the game in the last 24 since going ahead in the last 20. If they go 1-0 up Arsenal, they don't lose. Well, that's unheard of really at the moment. And
no, they've won every time they've scored first. They've won this season.
So it just doesn't happen, does it? So like you say, it's in total shock.
Manchester United breaking it up again because Bruno Fernandes was fouled, just a little foul by Declan Rice, but Bruno Fernandes has gone down, taken time to get up. That's his prerogative.
Oh, they're not rushing, and why should they? They're going to be as clever as they can, and they've got something to hang on to here, Manchester United. What a brilliant moment for this team under Michael Carrick to have that result last weekend, be in this situation in this game after 63 minutes, and really build the team, the spirit, the character. Can they hang on? Can they keep this 1-goal lead at the Emirates for the last 25 minutes? What a challenge it's going to lay down to these players.
Yeah, and not bad for starters from Michael Carrick. Winning now at the Emirates against Arsenal. Free kick that is taken into the area, but too close to Raya, who's able to catch that. It was straight down from just to the right of the centre circle from Bruno Fernandes, looking for the runners, but Raya was able to come and make the catch, clear it downfield, out of play for a throw-in to Arsenal. Time just beginning to run out for Arsenal. 25 minutes to play, plus added time. Ball down the line for Saka, not scored in his last 12 Arsenal appearances, Bukayo Saka. He is due one. Comes in, plays it square to Rice. Rice wraps his foot around that shot, but sends it high over the top of the bar, probably by 5 yards or so before it dropped into the Arsenal fans in the North Bank stand.
He was under pressure on the strike as well, wasn't he? Saka doing his work on the right, slips it into Rice. It's Casemiro comes out, he knows the tackle's coming. But they're the kind of situations that Arsenal are now having to resort to, almost like it's a little bit snatches, a little bit forced. Just trying to kick-start this second half, which just hasn't got going.
Yes, Arsenal this season, as I say, drew against Manchester City, drew against Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup quarter-final before they won the penalty shootout, and also the 0-0 draw here in the Premier League with Liverpool. 0-0 with Liverpool, then 0-0 at Nottingham Forest last weekend, now losing 2-1, and I think Manchester United might be about to make changes. Cunha, I think, is being called forward and is getting ready to come onto the field, so Mikel Arteta's made 4 changes. This is going to be Michael Carrick's first. Still 2-1 to Manchester United as Arsenal supporters feel that Saka was fouled. No free kick given, so Manchester United come forward again with Casemiro. And then little pass forward from Kobbie Mainoo. Rattles around back to Arsenal on the edge of the penalty area. Declan Rice looking for options. He looked to his right, looked to his left, and then played it square. Then Eza has Casemiro and Amad Diallo around him, so has to go backwards again.
But their distances have been way better, United, in this second half. They're closer. Ball goes into an Arsenal player. The challenge is there, the pressure is there. They've set up much better.
Ball played forward for Gyökeres. Onto the field now, after scoring against Inter in the week. Played in field, and then chipped right across field by Merino. Pulled down by Trossard. Trossard, one of Arsenal's top performers this season, takes on Dalot, gets the cross in. That's headed away by Maguire on the edge of the 6-yard box. This is very much set up for Maguire, isn't it? This is what he loves, this kind of scenario. When Arsenal now, you would think, would have most of the possession. The Manchester United defence will have pressure put on them. I've seen Harry Maguire, that sort of backs to the wall defending, as Luke Shaw concedes a free kick on the far side against Saka. Take a quick one. They get the ball moving again, Arsenal. Saka infield to White inside the box, looking to give it back to Saka, but he was well watched all the way back there by Dorgu, Bukayo Saka, and he just did enough to put him off, and it rolled through for a goal kick. And the scoreline remains: Arsenal 1, Manchester United 2. Matthew Upson.
Yeah, I think, Manchester United, and certainly Harry Maguire and Martinez, both enjoy that under siege kind of moment, John. They're at their best when they're operating deeper in their own box. When they get high up the pitch and in control, I think they're more vulnerable. You see the best of those two as a centre-back pairing in these situations. So that's another little area that Arsenal really have to excel in if they want to get back in this game.
Right, the change, Matt. We'll see Mbeumo leave the field. He's just stripping off one of his little bandages there. He turns, he claps towards the Manchester United fans, and the Brazilian international Matheus Cunha is going to take over from him, and Michael Carrick puts an arm around his shoulder. He gives him a pat on the chest. He scored his 9th goal of the season. He's Manchester United's leading scorer. And Mbeumo, after his move from Brentford last summer, 8 of them in the Premier League, and he scored in both matches for Carrick.
Yeah, I mean, he's a top player, but also replaced by another player in Cunha, who I really like. I mean, Michael Carrick, I'm sure, will be having to work hard to get him in the team in the starting 11 at some point, but
Gyökeres
is brilliant.
Gyökeres appealing and gets the free kick. It's kind of been manhandled by Martinez, 15 yards inside the Manchester United half. It was a bouncing ball. It was one of those, Matt, you'll have been in that position, your old position. It was sort of arms up over the shoulders.
Yeah, I don't think he does much wrong there, if I'm honest, Martinez. I think Gyökeres is backing off. All his momentum's coming into Martinez. He just puts his arm on his shoulder, heads the ball and steps out the way, and Gyökeres falls backwards. I don't know what else he's supposed to do in that situation.
If you just switched on, Arsenal are facing defeat at the Emirates for the first time this season. Manchester United are winning 2-1. Declan Rice, though, with the free kick that he swirls into the box. It's headed goalwards, but Mikel Merino underneath it couldn't direct it down under pressure, could only head it up and over the top from probably 15 yards.
Yeah, tough ball to score from. It's too straight, the ball. I mean, he tries to put some angle on it with the delivery, but really difficult ball into the box to score directly from a header. Mikel Arteta is just complaining to the fourth official about the time wasting, or shall we say the delaying of taking a goal kick, or just taking your time. I think that's going to wear a bit thin eventually.
He's in his right to make the point.
Yeah,
but somewhere in my mind's eye I can remember Arsenal being accused of the same thing. Yeah.
Dark arts, or was all that chat, wasn't it? Was it the dark arts chat?
Rice playing it forward. Really, if you're a team these days, you've got anything about you do that. As Arsenal come forward on the right, the cross into the penalty area. Maguire comes across, heads it away, still inside the box. Eza back to the edge of the area. Shots deflected from the edge of the box. They're appealing for handball. Merino with the shot that was deflected up and actually above the head of Lamens, who was able to catch it quite securely.
Yeah, it didn't look like it had much potency on the shot from Merino, did it? It was with his left foot, came back to him on the edge of the box. Eze just sets it back. It wasn't the cleanest of hits, and it hits Harry Maguire's hand, but as it's in a natural position,
he's falling down.
The supporting arm.
It's a supporting arm underneath him.
Perfectly
hit his arm,
fine.
bounced down, bounced up, goalkeeper caught. It's still 2-1 to Manchester United. 5 live in the World Service from the BBC. Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton waiting for your calls. 08085 909 693. You'll read about this on the football pages of the BBC website. Highlights of all of today's Premier League matches on Match of the Day tonight. Wayne Rooney on the programme, on the BBC One, on the iPlayer as well, and the Women's Football Show after that on the television as well. And search Football Daily on the BBC Sounds app, where you will get the review of the weekend's action. Ball played over the top to Dogu, takes it down, backheels it to the edge of the penalty area. Menu arriving, but Arsenal have been able to get it away. I thought an offside flag might come there, but it hasn't.
No, he's onside there, Dogu. Really well-timed run. Good chance for United.
It was a chance, as Fernandes plays it across. Kobbie Mainoo then curls it into the area, only half cleared. Cunha's under this. Cunha left side of the area, works it across, rattles around inside the box. Arsenal have only half cleared, and then Bruno Fernandes has got it again. Manchester United threatening a third goal. Can you imagine the effect that would have on the Arsenal supporters? Talk about the pressure building and the nerves setting in. But it remains 2-1. But Arsenal just clinging on a little in that situation.
I'm struggling to see where the energy is going to come from Arsenal. I'm not seeing it at the moment. They can shift the gear at all.
Well, it's Harry Maguire on the right wing for Manchester United now. They've got plenty of energy, and Maguire from the byline is able to get the crossover, headed away by White on the edge of his own box, and then Trossard further away, but Gyökeres beaten to it, or couldn't get there against Martinez. Manchester United come again. Arsenal look tired.
Yeah, very tired.
Manchester United look fresh.
Yeah, it's now starting to kick in. What will be 72 minutes? I thought last 25 would be tough, but 72 minutes in, I'm looking at both teams thinking United look way fresher, and Arsenal have got to go something to get back in this game. I'm not seeing it at the moment.
Arsenal have won 3, drawn 3 this season in the matches immediately after the Champions League fixtures. Here they are losing. Eze with the ball at his feet, halfway inside the Manchester United half. The United fans, I think they're still reflecting on Patrick Dorgu's dramatic goal to make it 2-1.
It's a worthy winning goal, isn't it?
It would be.
If it is one, it would be a worthy winning goal. It's a heck of a strike.
Timber to Trossard. Trossard to the byline. Crosses left footed, but too close to Lammens, who's able to catch the ball in front of his face and drop down onto his front. And he, of course, will hold the ball there for as long as he's allowed to. Referee Pawson has got his arm up in the air, probably counting down those 8 seconds, which, of course, as we widely predicted, I'm not sure how many times we've seen that actually implemented this season.
Once, I think. I've seen it once.
Bruno Fernandes loses out to Rice. Bruno Fernandes goes down. The referee's given us a free kick to Arsenal for the initial challenge by Bruno Fernandes on Declan Rice. The two of them tangling together, speaking to one another. Arsenal come forward, urged on by their supporters, attacking towards the North Bank stand. Here's Trossard. Trossard now. Gyökeres on the edge of the box. Eze's getting up there as well. Played square towards Timber. Timber goes square to Saliba. Bukayo Saka wants the ball over on the far side. In fact, it comes back infield. Declan Rice, there are 15 minutes to play. Manchester United winning at the Emirates. Ben White on the edge of the box. That breaks down. Cunha is going to be able to run it away for Manchester United. Has a look over his shoulder to see if he's got any support. In actual fact, it was deflected out of play for a Manchester United throw, even though actually Marino picked the ball up, took the throw. It's a Manchester United throw. Another Arsenal change. Madueke is coming on. Well, I wondered whether it could be Saka. It is Trossard.
Yeah. I mean, I think Madueke is the ideal player to bring on in these situations. When I see him come on off the bench for Arsenal, he's really bright in his movement. He's hungry to really prove himself. So let's hope he can bring some of that energy and transmit it into some of the other players, John, because it's flat. The movement off the ball's not there. Man United are dropping back into shape, and then Arsenal having to break them down. It's not happening that well, and there's a bit of a switch, isn't there?
Yeah.
With Madueke going across to the far side. So Saka, a rare appearance on the left side of the field for Arsenal.
It has happened, but not often.
No.
Deflected out for a throw-in. So Madueke coming on, and that's it now for Arteta, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's his 5 changes.
That's his lot.
he has played all of his cards, Matt. Arsenal 1, Manchester United 2. You'll be able to talk about this match on 606 as Arsenal come forward with Madueke trying to find his way through on the edge of the penalty area. Manchester United players all round him. They've deflected it out. One of them for a throw down the right.
It's Maguire, steps across, deals with it, loves those situations, loves being deep, loves having players in and around him. That's where he feels comfortable and operates at his best. Arsenal have got to find a way to shift him out of that position. Him and Martinez really move them, but it's difficult because they're going to sit in now, John. They don't need to come up and expose themselves up to the halfway line. It's going to have to be something a little bit special from Arsenal.
These are big moments. Arsenal will still have a lead at the top of the table if it stays like this, but it'll be down to 4 points, and I think significantly the fact that they'll have lost at home for the first time this season. Here's Eza and Saka, still 15 minutes plus added time. Eza into the box, taken down by Timber inside the area, but it bounced away from him. Manchester United clear it away over to the far side, and then back to Saliba. Manchester United did win here in the FA Cup last season, remember, but their league record is not good. And Madueke passing it forward, but too much pace on the pass just coming into the game, and Ben White, there's no way he could reach that through for a goal kick.
No, he just tries to slide him as Ben White makes that run from inside, which is a very typical setup of the Arsenal full-back and winger situation, of the winger wider, full-back more inside, but the pass just half a yard the wrong side of Ben White with a little bit too much pace on it. Rolls harmlessly out for another well-drawn-out goal kick from Lamens.
Watching the game inside the stadium here, I have to say, it does not have the feel that Arsenal are going to produce something and get back on terms in this match, which doesn't mean to say that it's not going to happen, but sometimes you just get that feeling, don't you?
Oh, the feeling's definitely here.
And also, because of that, this doubly so would be crucial and so important for Arsenal if they were able to.
Yeah, it really would, and I think like I've already mentioned, I feel like the supporters are feeling that tension as well, and not quite, knowing how to react. They just kind of get a little bit frustrated and a little bit edgy, and that feeling goes all the way around the ground at the moment.
Arsenal have won their last 4 home matches in the Premier League against Manchester United, but Michael Carrick's team are winning here today, having been a goal down. Ball over the top for Dorgu, and that is given as a free kick against Dorgu for his tug on White, and he's stayed down on the ground. Referee Pawson immediately points to the watch on his wrist. Dorgu's saying that he's hurt. The referee's actually come all the way across to him, still pointing to his wrist, and is talking to Dorgu, who's persuaded him that he does need to have the physio on.
Well, it's a clear foul from Dorgu, which he sees. He grabs the wrist of Ben White, and now he's claiming a hamstring. He may well have tweaked his hamstring. I mean, in fairness to him, he does reach for it mid-fall, John. As he's tumbling, he does put his hand down and grabs his right hamstring.
Yeah, I think the whistle might have already gone there for the Arsenal free kick, which he may well have been aware of.
Maybe.
While he's down receiving treatment, let's think about the goal that he scored in the 51st minute.
Wow.
Fernandes and, in fact, they're just showing it now on the television, aren't they? Fernandes and Dorgu.
A double 1-2 with Fernandes. It's a beautiful play, wasn't it? Build up, pops it to Fernandes, gets it back, lends it again, gets it back, touches it past Zubimendi, just skims it, and on the bounce he hits it with the outside of his left boot from the right hand side of the box, cuts across the ball, and it rockets into the top corner, crossbar down, and when that ball bounces around in the net like that, John, it doesn't have to make the goal look a lot better, doesn't it? I mean, it was one of those kind of moments, Roy the Rovers moment, isn't it? Really. If we can go there.
Well, we can. We've been discussing that recently on the Commentators Dream podcast. Yes, yeah. Roy of the Rovers stuff.
There you go.
Dorgu's off the field, and actually that's going to be it, because Sesko is going to come on. Saka on the left-hand side, crossing, header goalwards, drops over the top of the crossbar and onto the top of the netting. And I think Arsenal are saying that the header from Gyökeres took a deflection off a Manchester United body on the way over. Referee Pawson doesn't agree, and here's the change for Manchester United with Dorgu, the man who might have scored the winning goal, substituted, and Benjamin Sesko coming on to replace him. Should it have been a corner?
Yes, heads it, and I don't think Gyökeres really heads that with any real conviction. I think he sees the the challenge coming and doesn't really attack the ball, which is disappointing. But he does head the ball and he heads it down onto the top of Martinez's head and then it goes out. So I think it was a corner, but tough for the referee to tell on field.
Going back to the Dorgu goal, it just had a little touch of the Yeboahs about it,
Yes,
didn't it?
it did.
Not as spectacular as that goal, but in the way that it hit the underside of the crossbar, down, bounced up.
Not as wham-bam as that one.
No.
That was a serious volley, wasn't it?
But
it was up there, and it was the exchange beforehand as well, John. That lovely little exchange, double exchange with Fernandes was excellent play.
5 Live from the BBC. Arsenal 1, Manchester United 2 is this scoreline. I think it is a surprise scoreline. Here's Madueke on the right-hand side for Arsenal towards the byline. Defender went with him. It's blocked behind. It is a corner to Arsenal. What have you spotted there?
Someone with David Raya. Is it Sesko? Who's that with David Raya? Just the ball comes up and
it hit Sesko in the face. It was actually
Sesko
off Bruno Fernandes. It was off his teammate.
Okay.
Bruno Fernandes kicked the ball up. It hit Sesko in the face.
Yeah.
And referee Postman has had a look at him. He's all right. He will actually be needed, Sesko, back in his own penalty area here, and quite effectively so.
I mean, Arsenal haven't needed a set-piece goal any more than what they need it now this season. This is where one of these has to just happen, John. It feels like I don't feel like they're going to create it in open play. Feels like it's got to be one of these corners or wide free kicks.
25 goals from set pieces this season, Arsenal, but they need one now, almost like never before. Saka takes us into the near post. It's punched away by Lamens, back out towards the far side. And actually Madueke goes over there as well, but it is Saka who plays it square to Saliba, then back to Saka, a packed penalty area in front of him. Saka goes for goal from the angle and Lamens goes down. Well, that was through the eye of the proverbial needle there. Between all of those legs, managed to get it on target, and Lamens down to push it around the foot of the post.
I mean, there were so many bodies in the way for where we're sitting here, John. I couldn't actually see where the ball went. I thought it might have just wriggled into the near post, and it very nearly did. That's sharp goalkeeping from Lamens, because it goes through the legs of the defending player, and he's expecting that drag to the near post down to his left, and he gets down quickly.
However, a rare save for Lamens. Corner then. Saka again into the near post. A glance, blocked on the line. Forced it in. Yes, the goal is given. The goal is given, and Arsenal are all square. It's come from the corner just when they needed it. Merino, even though it was cleared away, it was behind the line, and it's Arsenal 2, Manchester United 2. What relief at the Emirates in the home sections.
Well, I said it was going to have to come from a set play, and it has. A typical Arsenal corner. In swinging, left-footed, and it's Merino with the final touch, I think. We'll have to wait and see on the replay, but this is absolute chaos. Arsenal make it horrible for Lamens, who decides to come and just gets absolutely bumped out of the way. It doesn't look like there's a foul. Obviously, everything's going to get super analysed, but it doesn't get dealt with. It falls to the feet of Merino, who is on the move in the box and ready to take it, and it looks well over the line, John. It looks a clean goal for me. It's ricocheting between bodies everywhere, but the Arsenal set-piece strikes again.
Well, they are obviously good luck picking the bones out of that, whether they feel there might be a handball in there.
Well, I think you could look at that for 20 minutes and not be sure.
Yeah, goals given. I mean, I've seen it several times. I did not see a handball in there. And again, it's as we were discussing a week or so ago, you know, to forensically look for absolutely everything.
Well, you should look for glaring problems. You know what I mean? If there's a potential graze of a finger, then I think just move on. Just leave it.
So 2-2, Arsenal 2, Manchester United 2, and there is new and renewed belief.
It's a get out of jail set play, isn't it? You know, Arsenal haven't looked like they're going to create in open play. I don't think they've looked like they've had the energy or the ability to break United down in this second half. Who United have played much better, been much harder to play against, and the corner routine has come good for them again.
It has. Not a thing of beauty, but they won't care. Madueke running free for Arsenal, but then gets a heavy touch which takes it all the way through for a goal kick. However, causing chaos in the Manchester United defence, even though it didn't come to anything.
Yeah, no, his directness, his energy, it is infectious, and it is a strong point of Madueke as a player, but there's a little belief. I mean, it's shifted, as you'd expect, completely in the stadium with the supporters, and you'd think United are going to be under the cosh now for the remainder of the game.
Well, just for the record, that was Arsenal's 26th goal from a set piece this season in all competitions. 15 of them now in the Premier League. Manchester United, though, have not given this up yet. Cunha's going to shoot. Oh, he scored! Manchester United back in front. Right foot from the edge of the D. Flew past Raya, diving down to his left. And just when Arsenal had renewed hope, Manchester United have snuffed it out, and Michael Carrick celebrates again. Arsenal 2, Manchester United 3.
What another goal we've been treated to here. That is an unbelievable strike from Cunha out of absolutely nowhere. The moment he picks that ball up in space, I actually sat there and thought, this looks like trouble, because he had way too much space to drive at the Arsenal back four. He's not bothered to try and go past anyone. He's got his head up, and he has bent a right-footed, low, rocket shot right into the bottom corner. I mean, Raya is dived fully to his left-hand side low to get it, but he's getting nowhere near this. Fantastic strike from Cunha, who's come on off the bench. We know the talent he has, but United now in this second half with 2 unbelievable strikes.
And still they're celebrating that corner of the Emirates Stadium. I'd go as far as to call them wild celebrations.
That hit,
Manchester United supporters.
I mean, the hit on the replay, look how he uses Gabriel's body, who comes out with his arms behind his back to try and just like get a block in the centre of the goal, but he uses him and whips it with such power right round him, bang into the corner. It's a brilliant finish from Cunha. You have to say the 2 United goals have just been top draw.
That was a beauty, with the right foot. Amad Diallo being substituted, so Mazraoui is making his return for Manchester United after being away with Morocco, playing in that extraordinary final last Sunday night. Now he's stepping into the middle of this.
Yeah,
what a life.
Yeah, what a game. I mean, he's seen some topsy-turvy matches over the past few weeks, shall we say, but this one here is completely unexpected.
Well, I'd go as far as to say, Matt, it's one of the matches of the season so far in the Premier League, this. The way that it's gone, Arsenal were 1-0 up in the first half with the own goal, and Bomo equalised after the Zubamendi error. Then that astonishing goal from Dorgu, spectacular goal. Manchester United 2-1 up. Then when hope was beginning to fade, Mikel Merino with the 6-yard stab that was over the line before Sesko cleared it away to make it 2-2. But then almost instantly, Manchester United going 3-2 up with that goal from Cunha. Cunha, who scored the last goal under Ruben Amorim's management in the 1-1 draw at Elland Road. There's Casemiro with a little shove in the back of Timber, but then runs away, and Arsenal come forward. We're in the 90th minute now. Eza, once again, Arsenal facing defeat here at the Emirates for the first time this season. Timber back to Eza. Eza now turns full 360 degrees. Middle of the Manchester United half. Eza plays it behind White and groans from the home supporters. Still low. Gyökeres gets a touch. Eza again. Saka's able to work it forward. Timber with a flick, and that came off the leg of the defender and goes behind from an Arsenal corner from the left this time.
It's the best outcome Arsenal could wish for, to be honest. I think they prefer a corner over anything at the moment, because it's their best source of getting a point out of this game. But the way this match has changed gear over several different moments is quite interesting, to be honest. It's really taken us very different places.
Already the board is up, 7 minutes of added time. So we are into added time now. Arsenal 2, Manchester United 3 is the score. Arsenal low with the corner, their great weapon. Rice plays it in. Oh, Lamon's unconvincing punch. But then a Manchester United player goes down in the box. There's a yellow card shown, and it's a free kick to the visitors.
I mean, look at the way United players are celebrating that free kick they've won from Cunha. They're all bending down, giving him a big pat on the back. Casemiro a moment ago going all the way in to press the ball. United really got the bit between their teeth here now. They know they've got something to hang on to. They're moments away from what would be an amazing victory back-to-back against City and Arsenal. And they're going to scrap as hard as they can for it.
It was Eza who tugged back Cunha, who went down, sprawling down, threw his arms up in the air, and it's a free kick to Manchester United. So Arsenal concede 3 goals, and the last time that happened was 2023, to concede 3 goals at the Emirates.
When you look at the 3 goals, one's a giveaway, complete giveaway, and 2 absolutely brilliant finishes. So while they, the mistakes have been there from Arsenal, no doubt, they haven't been as slick and as, in terms of managing the game as what you'd ordinarily see, but you have to credit the exceptional finishes from Manchester United.
That was that, do you remember, a 3-3 draw against Southampton, when they scored a couple of late goals to get a draw, as Manchester United win another free kick in the centre field. And that actually was what you might call old Arsenal.
Yeah.
Mikel Arteta's former side.
Yeah.
That would happen to. Yeah. This hasn't been happening to this team.
It hasn't. It's the first time you've seen them kind of slip up almost at home, which, it does happen.
It kind of started with the little mistake that Saliba made after they were 1-0 up.
It was an overconfidence, John. To let that ball roll across you there. Arsenal were in total control at that point. United just were being schooled by how well Arsenal were playing. And whether or not that's crept into the game, the Zubamendi decision then. But United, you have to, we can talk about Arsenal not quite being at those little levels and those moments not going their way, but you've also got to give Manchester United finishing some credit. I mean, the goals were special goals, both of them.
Yep. And Burn won the first half, Dorgu and Cunha in the second. Arsenal 2, Manchester United 3. 7 minutes of added time. Arsenal with Eza. Eza twisting, turning, then playing the ball back to Gabriel. Gabriel walking it forward. Still going with the ball, but Manchester United are saying, come on, see if you can find a way through. Michael Carrick's team are looking at 6 points out of 6 under his management. His management till the end of the season, with Jim Ratcliffe in the stands here today watching down. Saliba playing it out to the right hand side, then the cross from White, that is hitting Luke Shaw and bouncing out of play for a throw into Arsenal. 15 yards inside the Manchester United half. Manchester United, who will... the ball is given away by Arsenal, and Bruno Fernandes has gone for goal from the halfway line, but way wide and behind.
He's better than that, John, isn't he? Fernandes, I mean, that comes to him. If you're backing anyone on the field to hit the target there, I mean, he would have really fancied that. It was a loose pass again from Arsenal, straight across to Fernandes. There's been 2 or 3 of those. Obviously, we've seen the goal, but there's been some loose play in key areas, very uncharacteristic, as you mentioned, for the Arsenal this season.
Madueke, excellent defending from Luke Shaw there. Madueke received the ball 10 yards inside his own half, but Luke Shaw from left back was right up tight on him, deflected it out, throw into Arsenal. And another throw in now, and Arsenal supporters on their feet, arms in the air, some of them heading for the exits. This is quite the shock for them, this, to see their team lose here at the Emirates and concede 3 goals. Just the 3rd defeat anywhere this season. The defeats at Anfield and Villa Park, but now losing to this new look Manchester United, and time running out. Timber with the ball halfway inside his own half, long pass, and then it's headed forward for Gyökeres through the middle, but Lammens is out there, the Manchester United goalkeeper, beyond this penalty spot to clutch the ball into his chest.
Well, I thought there was a moment there where Gyökeres could have actually got right across Lammens, or at least made that a real challenge. Instead, he had to pull out of it as the goalkeeper came to claim the ball, but I thought he might have had the edge on that one.
2 minutes to play of the 7 of added time. 6:06 to follow with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. 08 085 909 693 to talk about this. We'll have the live interviews as well as the ball is played forward for Arsenal, but Manchester United are able to effectively clear. Cunha wants the ball through the middle. Sesko wants the ball through the middle. It's Cunha coming in field. He stumbles, he falls. No free kick. Marino looks to his right. Madueke is there, still just inside the Manchester United half. He's gone past Shaw, then gives it out to White. White's ball into the penalty area to Saka. Bennett's cleared away by Martinez for Manchester United. Only to White. White's deep cross to the back post. Gabriel is there. Defender Dalot gets his head to that. He goes down, and the free kick has been given Manchester United's way. And we've got 1 minute of the added time to play here, and it's still Arsenal 2, Manchester United 3.
That's a clash of heads there between Gabriel and Darlow. Gabriel trying to head that ball and Darlow just flicking it away. But this is a great tackle from Martinez in the box. Good build-up play from Arsenal, but he reads the run of Madueke to get the return ball, and he just goes to ground, slides, wins it, puts it wide. Good challenge from the United centre-back.
So no on-field treatment is required, and play will resume with a free kick for Manchester United, and just seconds to play. Now Arsenal supporters streaming out past us, their team about to go down to their first defeat for 7 weeks. They go to Elland Road next weekend, away to Leeds United. Here's Rice coming forward. Rice infield to Saka, but into the path of Kobbie Mainoo, who's able with his right foot to clear it away downfield. Might be the last attack now. Long and forward from Raya. Harry Maguire challenges. Gyökeres is in there. Gyökeres from the angle stabs it right across the penalty area as the goalkeeper came out, but the whistle's gone.
Yeah, I think he's always going to blow for the fouls, and he did look a foul from Gyökeres, just bumped into the back of, I don't know if it was Martinez, who was the recovering defender. Maguire gets nudged out the way, and I think the referee's always going to give that challenge. He's going to give a foul for it.
So a free kick for Manchester United. Manchester United about to become the first team to beat Arsenal here since last May. Manchester United about to do Manchester City a big favour, and Aston Villa as well after their win at Newcastle, and that is it. It's 2 wins out of 2 for Michael Carrick since returning to the head coach's job. Low fives all around with Steve Holland and his coaching staff. Mikel Arteta comes across, there's a little embrace there, but for Arsenal, well, the pressure's on now. After losing at home for the first time this season, Arsenal losing 3-2 to Manchester United, the way they conceded the goals, the fact they conceded 3, and the fact that it's only their 3rd defeat anywhere during the course of this campaign. Yes, Arsenal stay 4 points clear at the top of the table, but their players down there on the pitch, I have to say, look a little shell-shocked with their body language. Matt Upson.
Yeah, I don't think they can quite believe it, to be honest, but for me it was a performance that just ran out of a little bit of steam from Arsenal. They almost had to have the game tied up and won and in the bag in the opening 35 minutes, and they didn't achieve that. Gave a sloppy goal away, and the United that came out in the second half was very different. It was harder to play against. They got to grips with the midfield a lot better, were applying pressure and produced 2 very special moments, I have to say. The technical ability on both of the goals and the mindset to take those on was really real top class. And for a substitute coming on in Cunha, what a chance to show his quality. And, you know, I have to credit Manchester United with having that ability to come out in the second half after being really bossed in the first, get a hold of the game, and to win it 3-2 is a great result for them.
Well, the Manchester United supporters in the stadium, they're going nowhere. They're waiting to drink this in and enjoy this as the Manchester United players in their black shirts and their yellow socks are walking over into that corner to enjoy it with them. Michael Carrick out there. Well, what a start he had, Matt. Yeah. Michael Carrick, Manchester City at home, Arsenal away, and he's won them both.
Incredible.
You know what people are going to start to say, don't you?
What's that, John?
But for Arsenal, let's not forget, while they've been winning in the Cups, and yes, they played in the Champions League in midweek, just watching Bukayo Saka, who, shoulders drooped, is walking off the field. They've been winning in the Cups and in the Champions League, but that's Liverpool 0-0, Nottingham Forest 0-0, Manchester United losing 3-2. 2 points from the last 9.
Yeah, it's concerning, and it's coming at a time where, I mean, I think January's crazy anyway, John. I mean, you're working in football. I mean, how much time do you have in January in terms of the match schedule and all of that added together? And you know, the depth of the squad is there for a reason. Arsenal have that. They've got the quality to come in, but the second half in particular and the last 25 minutes of the game, it looked really tired from Arsenal. You have to say that.
Well, there we are. Who would have thought we'd be watching this a few weeks ago? Manchester United with Michael Carrick and his team celebrating in one corner of the Emirates, where Arsenal have lost for the first time this season. Arsenal 2, Manchester United 3.
08085 909 693 606 is on the way. Get your calls in. Loads to talk about, not least what we've just witnessed at the Emirates. Julien Laurent is there with Matt Upson and John Murray. Jules, in my experience of Michael Carrick, is a very level guy. He never really gets too carried away, but over there in the corner, he is really revving it up. He knows when it's big, and this is big.
Yeah, and we saw his celebration because we are just behind the bench, a few rows up, obviously, in that lower tier, and he turned around to his bench and you could see how ecstatic he was, and rightly so, because this is a wonderful performance, bar the first half hour where United were not in the game, not enough, and we explained after that first goal, it kind of woke them up really, and it was almost that warning sign saying, if we keep playing like this, we're going to get battered here today. And instead, they almost turn it on in terms of intensity, a block slightly higher up, but then you still need one mistake, and a massive one for Zubimendi, and 2 worldies really to overturn, to beat this Arsenal team. But against a team like that, that's what you need, and sometimes you need to ride your luck a little bit. They did, but I thought structurally, defensively, this afternoon it was almost perfect. Even from the first half hour, yeah, they were under pressure, but they were still well drilled and well organised. It didn't give much. But the last hour or so, I thought defensively their structure was almost perfect.
Yeah, Matt, I was just thinking something along those lines, whereby obviously, and we will, and people will want to talk about those 2 absolutely sensational goals, but actually the most impressive thing about Manchester United, I thought, is how they played twice when they had the lead.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's a team that had, I think it's got a noticeable shift in its mentality.
Yeah.
And that's everything, really. If you're a manager, if you take care of that, then all the other bits are smaller factors of what bring a top performance. But that's the key one, isn't it? What mentality have your players got? And I think Michael Carrick and his staff have come in and just changed that a little bit, and it looks like a happier place. The players are committing to what that is, and like Jules said, they were getting schooled in the first half an hour of the game, but really reacted well, and then reacted well again after you thought Arsenal were going to really try and punish them when it went to 2-2, and produced a moment. The confidence of Cunha off the bench, I mean, I love him as a player, but that's a confident moment for him to come and do that.
But then maybe at 2-2, then if you're Arsenal, you don't
think just we're happy with that.
That goal comes from Merino recovering the ball there and not being strong enough to protect that ball, get a foul.
Yeah.
Almost it looked like he wanted to try and go again forward.
It looked trouble as soon as it came to
I
Cunha,
agree.
because the space was there.
There was far too much space.
Totally, and you see him with the ball, and he's a quality player. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he will be and should be in Manchester United starting 11. It's just a case of getting him in the team.
Also looked to me, Jules, that there was certainly a lot of physical fatigue for Arsenal, and maybe a bit of mental fatigue as well.
Yeah, maybe this game comes on the back of 4 away games in 4 different competitions, and I know this is a big squad, and I know they're professional, but it was 4 games away in the space of 11 days, I think, before today, because they played every 3 days between the FA Cup, the League in midweek, the League Cup semi-final, first leg away at Chelsea, the Champions League, and then again today. I don't know, I'm always a bit sceptical about this kind of tiredness factor, but I agree with the boys. In the second half, it's true that you lacked probably a bit of sharpness and you lacked ideas, and that probably comes from a bit of a mental
It's
tiredness.
Psychological tiredness, Joe. Your decision-making dampens.
Absolutely.
As we said, a team that's played 35 matches against a team that's played 25 matches.
Yeah, but this is it. This is the challenge. I think this is the biggest challenge. It's harder than the matches. Getting up for a game to be at the level every 3 to 4 days for probably 6 to 8 weeks in this time of the year is really tough, and that's how hard it is to win the title.
And I think we knew that this point would probably come, because this is a team that's trying to do something that the club hasn't done for 22 years, and it's the team, the club, and I know that it's much changed this season, but they've been runners-up 3 years in a row. A point was probably going to come when there would be this kind of match for them to deal with.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they were never going to not lose again this season. So the most important right now, it's not, okay, the defeat is hard, it's going to hurt, it's not nice. We said it, it's a mistake and two worldies. It's how you react after this. Okay, midweek is Cara Almaty in the Champions League, it will be a C team. They will still top that league phase. But like John said, is to go away at Leeds next Saturday and see how you react from a defence like this.
Massive game, really, really good, and I'm sure it'll be a heck of a game to be at as well. Thank you very much, guys. Julien Laurent, Matt Upson, correspondent John Murray, all there at the Emirates. So 4 Premier League games today, 4 away wins. Arsenal 2, Manchester United 3, Newcastle 0, Villa 2, Palace 1, Chelsea 3, and Brentford 0, Nottingham Forest 2.